We're back and we hope you pack some snacks because we're in for a good one, guys. It's going to be the grand finals between Mad Army and Alter Ego Celestè of the Valorant Champions Tour Game Changer Southeast Asian Series FSL Elite, brought to you by Response Intel, supported by official gaming chair partner Secret Lab, official media partner Yahoo, as well as Nanoleaf. Once again, it's us on the analyst desk, your host Jenny Lee, and your panelists Donut and Jaeger. How are we feeling about that last 2-0 between Mad Army and Renatus White?
You know what? Mad Army, yeah, they get that 2-0. They didn't look as convincing as I was expecting because that game was still pretty close. And Renatus White and Mad Army, they've been beaten by Alter Ego Celeste in the past. It's every team that wants to win here. This is them going up against the Titan, right? Alter Ego Celeste, they're undefeated just time and time again, and this is going to be such a hard challenge for Mad Army. The difference is they get 5 maps to do it in this time, so you never know. Maybe that third map is where Alter Ego Celeste crumble. I have no idea. Hopefully we'll get to see it very shortly.
Yeah, that was definitely a heartbreaking loss for RTS. They did try their best. We really saw a lot of clutches, a lot of multi kills from the ladies, but it was really Mad Armies. Also, it was a confidence booster for them going into this best of 5 that we're seeing in the finals. If they are able to defeat RTS in that best of 3, then they have all guns blazing now in the finals.
Yep, for sure. We're going to take a look at some of the stats from that last series. Of course, this was the 13-6 over on Icebox before Kohibi was able to make it back in time to play for this one, where RTS, didn't really have the best, I think, communication as well as strategies. We saw them just caught out a lot of times and just like bad spots, not really knowing what to do. Although Envious, of course, tried her best in that one, picked up multiple triple kills during that map. ACS over 300 as well, actually higher than all of the members on the Mad Army squad. But as you can see, headshot percentage a bit higher for Mad Army, and just frag wins 12-4. Absolutely huge for that map number 1. And then map number 2, we were kind of hoping that Renatus White with Kohibi back on their team would be able to pull the miracle comeback out of the bag, but unfortunately weren't quite able to do so towards the end. Was pretty close, did bring Mad Army to that 13-9, but unfortunately, we have to say goodbye to this team. They've done so well for most of the entire year-long circuit as well, and coming third place in FSL Elite is definitely a pretty good score, and I think to sniff at. They will be walking away with 3,000 US dollars to split amongst the team. So yeah, hopefully we'll see more of them next year.
Just look at the damage they've done. It's completely equal. It really could have gone either way. Kohibi coming straight back into that second game, I feel like there was more that could have been said for her. I feel like there was more that could have been done. It was, we've seen Ginny and Kohibi go up against each other for years now. They've been on opposite teams, never been on the same team, and 7 years, 8 years have known each other. They've been going against each other, and they always one up each other when it comes to every tournament. And this time it was Ginny going forward to face our final team. And this final team, we don't have, we've got actually, we don't have a veteran of their stature. Kohibi and Ginny, there's no one of that stature on the side of Alter Ego. This is the next generation of FPS players, and they're going to be leading the next one as well, which means the region's just going to get stronger. I'm just saying, we're just going to get stronger. So, NA and EU are going to look out. But yeah, it's super exciting to see how that experience is going to clash against all this new and raw talent.
Yeah, I can't wait for the game changer scene, especially for Southeast Asia, to really show up. I can't wait for us to hopefully, next year get those international competitions and people will get to see the caliber of the female teams coming out from our region. But moving on to this series as well, because today's grand finals is pretty much the rematch of last night's upper bracket semifinal, where Alter Ego Celeste did beat Mad Army 2-0. JCU, we're talking earlier about how, things might be a bit different in the best of 5 versus the best of 3 format. Maybe with more maps, it will be different. But Donut, you watched the games yesterday as well. Give us your input.
Well, it was really a 2-0 for Alter Ego Celeste, and a best of 5 really makes a big difference. Even if Alter Ego will get the first 2 maps, there is still a possibility for a reverse sweep to happen by Mad Army, especially we're playing in more maps in the picture. The first 2 maps that were played were just really the strength of Alter Ego. Bind, as I could remember, was really a dominating performance for Alter Ego Celeste. But now with 5 maps, there is still a chance for Mad Army to respond because they play in the map of Haven very well. As we saw earlier, it was RTS's map pick, supposedly. But how they were able to read the situation, maybe the map of Haven can be a game changer for them as well.
Yeah, and I mean, coming into today, because Mad Army, they had to play this morning versus Renatus White, whereas Alter Ego Celeste, they're sitting pretty at the top of the upper bracket as well. Tarathiel, in her interview last week, said that out of all the teams in the entire of the FSL, their rival is Mad Army, and it's only Mad Army that they view as the rival. So definitely a very fitting grand final for this year's FSL Elite, and what a rivalry we have between these two teams as well. It's going to be pretty much the revenge match of this year. Of course, these two teams, they've met each other so many times throughout the circuit. Do we think that the fact that Mad Army had to just play a best of 3 versus Renatus White means that they're a bit more tired coming into an entire best of 5, or do we think that they're more fired up? Do we think that they really want that revenge after yesterday's 0-2 loss? How do we feel about that one?
I'd say that they're probably going to be more fired up than Alter Ego will be. Think about the fact that they start things off with a 2-0, fast victories, and now they know exactly how to play their maps. They're all warmed up. Not Renata, sorry. Alter Ego, maybe they've been watching. They may be able to learn some things, but that mechanical skill and getting your arms warmed up, getting the aim warmed up. Yeah, you can practice for a long time, but there's nothing quite like going up against someone. And I think that is a great way to warm up for a best of 5.
Yeah, I
Yep.
definitely agree, and because it was just really it was really a fast game. It was a 2-0. If there were some overtimes in the picture, and if we ever played a map number 3, then it could be a possibility that they are a little bit tired, but that could be a booster for them, as Jace mentioned.
All right, and these two teams in the grand final, guys, they need no introduction, but here they are anyway on your screens. The squad of Mad Army, Muffin, Anko, Ginny, Polly, as well as Baby TZ. We've mentioned time and again just all the girls on this squad showing up clutch when their team needs to. And here, it's none other than Alter Ego Celeste. If you've been following FSL for literally any period of time, if you tuned in for any final, you would have seen these girls as Tarathiel and Neri, Iceberg, Ayumi, Margot, as well as Ariophilia. And again, one of the teams that do play with a 6-woman roster. But after an entire year, I mean, there's almost nothing left to be said about Alter Ego Celeste that has not already been said during one of their stellar performances this entire year, all the way through FSL Open 1 through 6 that they won pretty much almost all of. We're at the top of the leaderboard as well. We're the very first team to make it through to the FSL Elite. But we're going to take a closer look at our featured player matchup for the series. It's going to be Anko versus Ayumi. Guys, talk me through this.
I mean, so what we're trying to compare here, Anko, an amazing duelist for the side of Mad Army. We saw her there on Haven as well. Just how consistent she can be with that aim, and how lethal she can be in general. Ayumi, not even the main star player, right, of Alter Ego Celeste. We're always looking at Aneri, always think about Aneri when it comes to Alter Ego Celeste's best player, but they've got a ton of amazing players, and Ayumi, definitely one of them. 269 average combat score, average kills of 18.4, and that KDA speaks for itself. That is a non-self-destructive way of playing. That's a way of playing where you keep yourself alive and you make sure you get those kills as well, time and time again. And just look how much. Not only does imagine having that higher KD, plus even more in terms of first bloods, right? That shows that you can enter and get that first kill and still keep yourself alive and get that huge KDA. It's ridiculous. and it's amazing that Ayumi isn't like, I mean, she can be a star player. She's definitely an amazing one, but it shows how good this team is together and how there's so many talents on this team, not just Neri, but you've got all of them that are able to contribute. Anko has to do a huge amount of work for her team, and her teammates, they gel really well together. But Anko is there to try and get those kills going, but doesn't keep herself alive in a lot of those situations. She really is there to try and make that space. And Ayumi shows that you can do that while staying alive as well. And these are the players that are going to start leveling themselves out.
All right, guys. Well, you've heard enough from us. Let's right now hear it for the top team in FSL Elite right now. It's none other than the girls of Alter Ego Celeste themselves. Enjoy.
Hello everyone, my name is Soryophilia and I'm from Alter Ego Celeste. I am controller and sentinel for my team.
Hi everyone, my name is Neri. I'm the duelist for Alter Ego Celeste and I sometimes play this guy.
So I started from CSGO since 2016, but I just play casually because I started competitively for about 2 years since 2018. Then after that, I hop over to Valorant because all of my teammates moved over to Valorant.
So we represented Indonesia at the 2019 WSG Southeast Asia and we won second place. After that, the CSGO scene started dying, so we hopped over to Valorant because we saw a lot of potential for us in this new game. The team actually went through a few roster and agent lineup changes to find out what fits us and what doesn't. I think a particular incident I remembered was the day before FSL Open 6, where me, Ayumi, and Iceberg, we went into a custom room together, and then we just decided to switch over all our roles and just play no duelist. I think it's a very memorable incident, and turns out it fits really well for us, that kind of game style. And for me, I expected to win all FSL Opens because I'm really confident in my teammates.
So I was playing a sub because I was replaced by Margeaux. Then I played FSL Open 2 when I played for Ayumi because she cannot make it. And then I think I expect my teammates to open all of the FSL Open also because I believe in my teammates. They always practice and improve their individual by playing ranked every day. For training, we have 3 times for scrim a week and 1 time for mapping. I think that's okay for us because we still can manage our time and practice. I think the one who always lead the training is Ayumi because she has experience in leading because she used to play PUBG.
People might not expect it, but we actually have a few difficulties with choosing roles that fits our players. I think Margot and Tara actually switched the smoker role or sometimes the sentinel role, and Ayumi also. She played Astra sometimes and it didn't fit her, so we changed her to another role. And then I think for FSL Open, we've already fixed our mistakes, we've overcame our difficulties, and we've found roles that are perfect for everyone. So yeah. Since we have no coach in our team, whenever we finish a scrim or a tournament, we usually watch back our VODs and then we watch them and then we see why we lost that round. Was it because we positioned ourselves really badly, or our comms didn't work, or maybe our crossfires wasn't working? So I think that's just how it usually goes after a tournament or a scrim. We find out our micro mistakes and our communications and then we just fixed it. Everyone gives criticisms in the team because everyone is able to, well, accept them without having any hard feelings. So I think it works without a coach if everyone is participating in a discussion.
I think team to look out in FSL is Nigma Galaxy because last time they played with their main lineup. Now they played with the new roster. I think it's gonna be a surprise for all of us.
For me, I don't really have a specific team that I'm looking out for because I feel like everyone who has qualified for FSL Elite is really good. So I think no team can be underestimated. I feel like everyone will come in really strong and will be a really big surprise in the FSL Elite. So I think everyone is to be looked out for.
One of players to watch in FSL is Loy from Mad Army. I think she always clutch and she has a sharp aim, also a nice gameplay. So I think people need to watch her in FSL.
For me, it's Gwen from Big because I feel like she's such an underrated duelist. She has really good mechanics and I feel like she isn't talked about enough. So I think she's a player that needs to be looked out for because I've seen her play and she's really good. I hope the amount of girls playing Valorant, competitively or not, increases because I think it's really fun to see a lot of girls playing this game. I also really want to thank FSL for being such a good event organizer and collaborating with Riot to give us a bigger platform to play on. So I wish the next year there would be many more tournaments emerging for us girls, and I hope the number of girls playing Valorant increases.
Makasih semuanya yang udah support kita. Semoga kita bisa menang di FSL Elite. Jangan lupa terus support kita dengan komen di live chat nanti sama mention di Instagram story. Makasih semuanya.
Thank you everyone who always supports us through live chat, DMs, or our YouTube platform. It really motivates us when you guys wish us good luck. We are very motivated to grind harder and practice more because we hope we can make you guys proud. And we're really thankful for the support. We hope we can bring the FSL trophy to represent our country. Thank you everyone.
And I just love the confidence that the girls have and the love that they have for each other. Also, that little dig when they said after 2019, when the CSGO scene started dying, the team moved over to Valorant, but it really just shows how much practice AE Celeste have working together with the same team members for this many years, and also just the growth that they've had throughout the FSL circuit. I remember last year when the team first started competing in FSL, they didn't even have any sponsors. It's just that their performance has been so good, so undeniable, that Alter Ego just had to pick them up. I can't wait to see more of this team, but guys, we're about ready to hop into map select for both these squads, and I believe it will be Icebox, Split, Ascent, Bind, Haven if the series does go to map number 4 and 5. And right off the bat, what do we think?
Well, I have to say that in terms of the picks, it was really, I foresaw this happening because Tarathiel yesterday, when she was interviewed, it was really the mere selection of maps that was their strategy. The team of Mad Army, Tarathiel mentioned that they really like playing in these bigger maps and they're stronger there. That's the reason for banning Breeze. And it was picked now. The first map was selected by Mad Army, which is a bigger map. And we saw them perform there earlier against RTS. They're very, very strong on this map. But the rest of the series, though, we'll be seeing a lot of smaller and compact spaces where we saw them really dominate against Mad Army.
Yeah, I mean, you can see they're obviously trying to avoid anything too big. Fracture and Breeze went straight out the window. Actually, Mad Army were the ones to ban Fracture, and I think that's because it's probably the map that they're least confident on, right? Everything else, they seem to be more confident to play on. They are good at the big maps, but Fracture isn't really a big map, is it? It's a big map with just a lot of narrow corridors, and it's technically a small map when you think about it. But the big maps, they can definitely help against Alter Ego, but it's still Alter Ego. This is still not an easy game, especially if you get to that bind game, right? If Alter Ego manage to take 2 out of the first 3 and they head on to that bind map, it should end there, because we haven't seen anyone challenge Alter Ego on bind. And if Mad Army could do it, that'd be amazing. But Mad Army get 2 chances to get those points out the door, right? Icebox, Ascent, we've seen that Mad Army can do it. They've shown that they're very capable on actually all of these maps, and they've had an amazing win percentage on them as well. So why couldn't they take them away from Alter Ego?
All right, and really quickly before I hop into Agent Select, I'm gonna need your predictions for this banger of a series that's about to come up. Donna, let's start with you.
I feel like Mad Army did select Icebox and Ascent for a reason. They're very strong on those maps. I would have to say that it's going to be maybe their own map. So I'm going to say until the map of Bind, it's going to be a 2-2. But then for Haven, it's really something different.
Oh, you're predicting a 2-2? Oh, there it is again. There's the exact roster you expect to see time and time again. It's a Killjoy and then there's a Rain on the other side. Those are the only key differences. As for my predictions, every time I say a 2 and a 1, that 1 never pops up. So I'm gonna be really bold here. I'm gonna say 3-0 for Alter Ego Celeste.
Ooh, wow. Okay, I'm gonna go 3-1. I guess kind of in between y'all. I think we've got Donut predicting a 3-2. Jay's going for the 3-0. I'm gonna go on a limb here. So it's gonna be a 3-1 in favor of Alter Ego Celeste. I mean, just historically, it's almost impossible to bet against this absolute powerhouse of a team that is Alter Ego Celeste. But guys, this is where Donut, Jace, and I say adios. We're gonna leave you in the more than capable hands of Quack and Zaya to cast this next series. Friends, all ears on you.
Queens to have their rematch once again as we head on to the grand finals of the Valorant Game Changers Southeast Asia Series FSL Elite, the grand final day. This is it, Quack, and together we will be casting this amazing action for you. Will Mad Army dethrone our Ever Queens who has been reigning for most of the year here, or Alter Ego to basically stand and defend their title? What do you think?
I honestly, I'm not too sure. I feel a lot of nerves right now, not just because we're casting, you know, but for these teams, it's really intense. They played yesterday in the upper bracket finals. It was a 2-0, but this time, best of 5. You got all 5 maps to work with. I mean, not all 5, you know, there are 2 more that were banned, but I think it's something that Mad Army actually has a chance at taking this. The thing is, though, they really need to win out on the maps that they've picked. If they don't, and then they go into maps like Split Bind, which are Alter Ego Celeste's best maps, this could go south real quick. So right now they are starting out on the attack, and I want to highlight the fact that Ayumi in the past would pick Raze on this map. This time she's going for that Killjoy. I think there's a reason for that, but here we go, already starting things off in towards B.
Already, and narrowing down the map as well. But I would just like to highlight as well, you looking quite dapper in towards your outfit today. Having a little bit of a chamber teaser here, but to start it off, Ayumi with that Killjoy takes baby TZ down, even despite having those walls up and beyond. But take note, this is still the post-plan situation. Mad Army still can go through it, but we've seen it time and time again. Celeste, you know, having these full-on retakes. Let's see if it works. That's going to be a deny of intel here. But Anko from under 2 takes 1. Ayumi and Inari will be getting their kills respectively. Anko from the flank will take it off. Dashes. Ayumi takes that 3K. They're going to defuse the spike. And Anko may not be able to save the day as Ayumi starts us off with a 4K.
And that is just what I was trying to allude towards, because Alter Ego Celeste, you've got Ayumi on the Killjoy, and she's looking for that map control. She wants to anchor this down. In the past, they go for that double duelist aggression, but this time they're going for double sentinels instead. And on a map like Icebox, especially with the fact that they're starting on defense, this is going to work wonders. Ayumi's already fully in control of B side, and once she finds out where Anko is, probably off on a lurk somewhere, which is what she's known to do, all she needs is to look for that last duel, and that is what Alter Ego Celeste are trying to set up here. Mad Army need to try something different.
Definitely. Utility management is the way, but look at this Inari with a beautiful Marshall kill, taking down Ginny, denying any more intel, and as well, injuring Anko all the way to 19 HP. And Muffin was able to go down, but still with a low break of health, using this toxins. Will they go and be pinned in the corner? Inari though with another Marshall, and updrafted for more information. This is just them reading Mad Army on the book right now, and lovely deny of entry with the help of this Sage Wall.
Yeah. Oh.
Oh, a little bit of peaks here and there, but still, this is basically the advantage of having a lot of utility management coming in from Celeste. They have a lot of options to choose from, but Baby TP, though, still is able to get one more as well, but the 3K from Teratial is going to clean it up, getting their second point.
just absolutely left click and hold, mowing them down. It's the second round only, and Alter Ego Celeste are already fully aware of whatever Mad Army are trying to throw at them. The fact that you got the Sage Wall up by Maze just means that there's no chance they can break it through unless they knife it or something. And even if you do go for something like that, chances are Alter Ego Celeste are on the other side already ready with their triggers and everything. It's incredibly tough for Mad Army to break past this, but now that they have a full buy, maybe they stand a little bit more of a chance. Let's see what they can pull off here. I think map control is really crucial. They need to find it somehow. They can't just rush down the side on their own.
Definitely, and I love it how they are utilizing the mid side of the map. So they're very versatile and proactive in getting these map controls. Baby T's gonna start off taking down Iceberg, as well as Inari Polly for the trade rush. Fell with the kill of her own. Everything is going to happen, you know, in the different sides of our map, but still they're already knocking onto the side store. Tarafel will try to spray despite these walls up and above. You would that's an understanding, because basically you'd want to remain quite straight. But here though, Ginny still, you know, getting that 20 capabilities down, denied it, and with only Baby TZ to take Tarathiel down, that is going to be 1-2, not wanting to further up the gaps.
Yeah, not too bad. I mean, this is the third round after all, so pretty standard stuff. Nothing too surprising, except for the fact that Mad Army are trying to read the game as well on their own. They know that Alter Ego Celeste had a couple of marshals on the previous round, and the chances are when you're up against a player like a Yuumi, maybe even a Neri to a certain extent, they're going to be looking for these duels. So posting their players towards positions like mid, maybe even green, they were hoping that Alter Ego Celeste would peek out, and then they would have the crosshair placement really sharp just to go in for that counter strafe shot and get a couple of heads. Coming into this one though, now both sides with the full buys. Question is, what is Alter Ego Celeste trying to do? They're actually pushing together as a squad down mid right now, and this is big intel for those girls. They will be able to figure out that, okay, they're not trying to make a play through mid. We probably don't hear anything around A as well, so let's check out B. And that is where the Mad Army players are. Anko is going to watch for this. Will be able to take Tarathiel down first. Looks for the second one, but unfortunately, hearing the updraft, she gets a little bit distracted. Orifila takes her down. Baby TZ is already good for the flank guard, though, and she's going to find another one as well. But towards the front, it's going to be a Yuumi just shutting them down with that operator. Baby TZ is stuck and pinned down. She has the res, though, so once she goes for this, they need to hightail it to A.
Indeed, but that's going to be a res 2-on-2 for both sides of the team, quickly rotating to A, but Iceberg already knows better. The intuition is in her blood right now. Iceberg goes for that.
Oh no!
He goes for standing the spike, denying it from actually being dropped down, with only Anko as the remaining member of the pack. Let's see how this is going to go, because look at how they're positioned here. It's a beautiful crossfire for both Ayumi. Moment she just peeks towards mid is could be a capital, but she still survives it surprisingly. Now Anko goes for the hunt up and above. May go for the spike, but she doesn't know that she's above it.
10 seconds left.
With, oh dear. Oh, okay, that's going to be another plant. Iceberg may go for the kill, but you know what? Yeah, with a little bit of a chip damage coming from Ayumi with that classic. Still really helpful. And a third point now for Celeste.
Oh my gosh, Celeste, they are cerebral in this game. I mean, it's almost like they're Professor Xavier, Tarathiel, she's wearing Cerebro, the helmet, and somehow just reading every single thought coming in from Mad Army. Again, this is very crucial that they have bits of map control, but this time it was ultimately denied as soon as they tried to push in towards B. It's partially because of the flank that they had, but at the same time, it's also Ayumi just absolutely anchoring down with the operator. If Mad Army continues to go for pushes like these, and sometimes Anko going off on a lurk on her own, it's not going to work out too well, especially in a scenario like what we just saw earlier on. 2v2, and you don't have that much time left. You can't really afford to split yourselves up.
Definitely. And The thing about it is that if you notice, at least from the previous rounds, Alter Ego does not hesitate in roaming around the map just so that they can get their favors right. But this is the good thing, however, for Mad Army. The moment the spike is planted, they make sure that it's secure, but not for this time around as Oreo Fuel takes one. We get a double here. Not gonna really counter out those or neglect those angles, and Ayumi with a beautiful off kill is going to dwindle the numbers all the more for Army. Is it gonna be it is a 3 for all your feeling, but Iceberg for the cleanup. Still a lab flawless moment by Alter Ego.
Oh my gosh, round 5 and we already see a Secret Lab flawless. This is supposed to be the grand finals. I want to see more of a fight coming out from Mad, but the current strategies that they're employing are a little bit too transparent. It seems like Alter Ego Celestè have already figured this out, and in fact they are the ones trying out interesting things. I mean, we saw that push coming down from mid. This time around it was a little bit more standard as well, and that's mostly because they already have the weapons that they wanted. They don't need to try anything too different. This time, okay, Mad Army, I see what they've got. 3 marshals. Let's see if that can actually do some damage. Nope, it's just gonna get shut down.
You jinxed it, my guy, but again, you have to take note. I'd like to highlight your point right there. The fact that Alter Ego are the ones trying and experimenting with all of these tactics, they are on the defender's side. And look at this Ayumi with no hesitations to peek and hit. Will it be able to spot out Anko? It is a miss, but that is intel. So you have to consider that as well for the other members. Loving it, however, how Terrafiel does not leave the side just yet because they can still go for the rotate, but Anko was able to get the head of Oreophilia. 4 versus 3 and the fight can still be doable if they are able to get another one down, in which Anko just goes for a signal, but Ayumi for the revenge, trying to get all of these advantages in towards their favor.
And Ayumi has lockdown right now. If she wants to, she can definitely just turn this all the way back off and not allow Mad Army to gain any more room, but she doesn't even need it. Quadra right now goes for the reload. Anko is 8 HP, so unfortunately no ace, no intel ace for her Ayumi, but of course they still get to clean things up rather cleanly. 3 out of 5 players still alive towards the end, and Alter Ego Celestè have won, what, like 2-3 rounds in a row at this point? They need to find some way to deal with Ayumi's operator right now.
The truth be told, the fact that they were able to be shut down almost completely by the operator for Ayumi, you can really consider it a huge threat, and will be, you know, being or reconsidered twice by the side of Mad Army here, because look at how it's positional, right? They're gonna go and be aggressive still towards A, maybe try to double peek Ayumi down, but I don't think that's quite enough to stop it, because I'm pretty sure that Ayumi may still get some casualties before being, you know, double or triple peaked by Mad Army. So right now, look at this beautiful delay of push with that swarm grenades here, just so that the other team can go for the rotate. And the Viper Spit is going to be played here by Polly.
Yeah, Viper's Pit coming out would be good, but you got to consider the fact that Ayumi still has her lockdown. If she does deploy that thing, even if you have a Viper's Pit, you're basically going to be trapped. It's not even needed yet. She's watching down like a hawk, able to take Anko away, and then the lockdown comes in. Thankfully, there is a bit of a counter. They will be able to shoot that thing away because of Jinny's Hunter's Fury. So counter for counter, the ults are good, but what's even better is going to be the kills. Polly watching the angle will be able to take down the first player. Snakebite to deny the spike defuse a little bit longer, buys extra time and basically confirms the win. AEC need to push in and look for the kills right now, but unfortunately they won't really get it, and Baby TZ trying to deny it even further. They know that they don't have any more time, so thankfully she makes it away, and of course earning the Nano Leaf clutch for her team.
This is the question that comes into mind, though. But before anything else, I think that we will be looking at that replay from earlier. But again, a question comes to mind is, okay, sure, we do see that this shutdown from Polly getting down, or Oreophilia, and Baby TZ as well to deny, you know, at least some amount of economy per se, but still we can consider that Alter Ego is quite healthy. But this is the question that took Viper Spit. What the risk that I'm quite worried about is they need to walk in sight without being too dependent on utility. But with that, what you have just reacted, Iceberg taking on the Fury kill. And it's against Ginny. And you know, Ginny here being one of the agents in towards Mad Army to give them information, but Muffin though will counter that out. You know, take down Iceberg as well. So it's Sova for Sova. You know, I receive, you receive. But this Ayumi though kind of misses her shot back there towards Ness. But Inari may have something to do about this because that was info to say the least. So they're kind of wary on how they're going to enter towards the site. Oh, Tarathiel though was able to spot out Anko towards mid, or you feel you already pre-aim. That's gonna be a casualty.
I don't think Anko can be doing that any longer. Muffin and Baby TZ, the last ones left alive to defend the spike, and not to mention Tarathiel still wrapping around the back. They have no idea that she's here. They're already distracted by the front. Baby TZ will be able to get the first head. Looks for the second right now. She's able to take Oreophilia gun, and that just might have saved it, thankfully. Mad Army with another Nano Leaf clutch, still continuing on with this little streak that they're trying to start. 3-5. That was 2 wins in a row, but still, it was kind of costly, right? 12-3-0 is what Ayumi has for her KDA right now.
Yeah, so into this replay, you know, Iceberg really started off really great, and also the members of Oreophilia. But the thing is, this is also the second round consecutively that they managed to buy enough time so that the other members of Alter Ego does not have time to defuse the spike. And those are like one of the 2 scenarios that you would want to basically put yourself in. So let's see if Alter Ego can have something to do about this, because in terms of retakes, yes, they sure have it, but they don't have time. So maybe we might see a bit of a more faster pace in terms of them trying to take it. But Muffin is going to shut down Ayumi, who's been very tedious to work with here, at least for the few rounds that we've witnessed.
Very good, because this is Mad Army actually reading the situation perfectly clear. They know that Alter Ego Celeste doesn't quite have the economy they're looking for, so they're probably just holding angles, looking for the duels, and this is where Mad Army will gain free reign. Rushing in with the fully automatic weapons, they are actually able to do some damage, but Alter Ego Celeste holding angles will be able to do a little bit as well. Wait, this just got turned into a 1v1. What just happened? Oreophilia going for the res now, brings Iceberg back to life, and she has a sheriff. Ginny is the last one alive, though. If anyone can do it, she definitely can. But now she gets spotted out. Oreophilia coming back from the other side. She gets an intel ace with frenzies, with specters in this round. How?
4K frenzy plus a Spectre to boot. The moment she picked it up, beautifully done. Angle isolations coming in from Oreophilia, really getting up the charts. Look at this. So Oreophilia takes Anko down 1 look, and beautifully done with that spray. Was able to look at Baby TZ, and here comes the rest. And this is the unfortunate event that happened there, because it was a 1v2 situation, could have been a double peak, but understandable for the side of Mad Army, since maybe they did not expect Oreophilia to be in that position as quick as she could have been. So that alone is one of maybe the things to further secure this gap that they currently have in them against Mad Army.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Like, this is Alter Ego Celeste making sure that Mad Army does not catch up to them. They might have won 2 rounds in a row. Yeah, it's okay. We're just going to go in and win off a Thrifty. Like, that might have been an Intel Ace, but it was also a Yahoo Thrifty because they had nothing but pistols in that round. Yeah. Incredible stuff, but here we go. This time, Mad Army with a little bit of a half buy. Let's see if they can actually do some damage. It's going to be the long-range weapons, though. Every single one of these guns are guns that perform at long range. You need to hold angles or at least have pre-aimed positions to do that. And unfortunately, with how Oreophilia is playing right now, slipping in and out of position, it's going to be a little bit more difficult. Still, though, they're going to press forward. The Sheriff shots will ring true. They find a couple more. The res comes in, and just like that, they claim the site.
Indeed, but this comes into the retake game as we see this drone may find or spot some members, but no, it's actually Inari who's going to be spotted out by the drone here. So that's going to be Toxins down, forced to reposition here, but Anko will still get that kill. on tail and Neri for the trade, but here we have bodies on the floor. Echo cleaning it up with the 3K, and that's a Yahoo Thrifty from Mad Army.
You know, sharing is caring. You kind of said it earlier on, Zaya. You know, you take one, I'm going to take one as well. This time it's Mad Army taking the fight back to Alter Ego Celeste. I mean, let's take a look at how they did this, right? It was earlier on just the fact that they actually managed to gain site control through maybe Alter Ego Celeste kind of underestimating them, but the sheriff shots were just so clean. They were able to creep up towards the front underneath pipes, and I think Oreophilia, they might have spotted them out at the start, but then they just weren't quite ready to deal with the shots that they were gonna come in. And then of course with the retake, not enough numbers. They were able to do a little bit of damage, but it's just not quite enough. Here they go, though, back into the fray. Alter Ego Celeste are looking to make this into a win off of Inari's Bladestorm. So far, none of them are connecting. In fact, Mad Army are the ones that have created quite a bit of space in towards the A site. Perhaps Ayumi's looking to set up for a retake right now. She does have the info, maybe even looking for an angle, but it's getting blocked off by the toxic screen.
And with only a sheriff kill, she got one shot, one kill for the sides of against Man Army. But now the plant is gonna be down. But again with the one shot, making it too beautifully done by Ayumi. Nice, very nice angle isolation coming in from her here. And they might break the wall. And for the flank, Ginny does not neglect that. But Holly and the gang are just trying to, you know, make the best out of these post-plant situations. Polly still gets her down. Ayumi for that 3K trade. And let's see, fakes the defuse. Baby TZ knows this, so she's not peeking just yet. That's one, making another beautiful spray transfer. And as well, Oriphilia here to take Baby TZ down, but you have to take note. That was half diffused, and Ginny still knows timing is of the essence. Went in towards her and did not hesitate to take her down. And you'd basically know it at this point, Quack, for both sides of the team. Weapon difference is not gonna be, it's going to be undaunted. It's not gonna affect anything. So long as you win it works. And both of our teams prove it here, but this though, this spray transfer from Baby TZ are one of the things that made it work for them. And you know, Ginny just went there for the cleanup.
You know what it is? Revenge is a dish best served cold. They might have beaten Ginny with a 2v1 earlier on. This time, Ginny's gonna take the fight to them. Using a Spectre, just spraying down Oreophilia. Doesn't matter what gun you've got, these girls are gonna put some damage to you. Right now though, last round of the first half, and they are the ones with 3 ultimates at the ready. They're looking to go in for this full A site execute. I don't know if it's going to work because Alter Ego Celeste are fully aware of this. They have all the stacks that they need, but something that they didn't quite expect was Inari up towards the side of screens. Her legs were a little bit exposed, so she's tagged up. Thankfully, the heal comes back in.
Indeed, revenge is best served cold because basically we're an icebox, but we do see Mad Army coming in with a banger and really in heat. And look at how they really have this patience game waiting for them. That's going to be a lockdown coming in from Ayumi as well. May try to deny this, but they will be pushing it. Ayumi and Inari takes ahead for them respectively. So this should be a signal for members of Mad Army to go back. No players are going to be detained, but they were able to contain the members of Mad Army and force it to be, you know, in a state wherein they are pinned down towards spawn. And that's going to be a win for Celeste.
That's a good line. That's a good call. They weren't detained, but yes, they were absolutely contained, locked down, just because of that presence of that ultimate coming in from Ayumi. She is leading the scoreboard right now with a 17-7-1 KDA, the highest amongst all the players on the server right now. I think this is a problem that Mad Army has. You know, they're this reformed team. I've said it before. I'm going to say it again. They play without an IGL. We have seen it before in their Q&A videos. They play without a clear leader, and when that happens in situations like that, there is no one to step up and say, all right, we got to back out. We cannot stay in this place any longer. Instead, what happened was they kind of hesitated for a second. They stood still, and then they kind of thought, all right, I kind of want to push this, but that was a mistake. Ayumi was already ready for that. They shut them down, and then the 3 remaining players were just pinned down. Here we go, swapping sides. It's the second half. Mad Army trying to defend. They have some information, but what they don't know is that the spike is actually headed towards B.
they do know now, and Eri will be taking down one in the process, but Iceberg knows that Muffin is on to the right side. So maybe a double peek would happen. That's going to be a dash in, but manages to get Iceberg at half health. But look at this, though. They are marching in, as you did mention. The spikes at B, they just created presence towards A. And look at how they're responding to it right now. They're forced to go for the flank, which should be telegraphed now for the side of Alter Ego. Because look at that! And Neri takes Anko down on towards B side. Maybe TC for the trade, but Ayumi says otherwise. And post-time position in towards smoke. Ayumi, you're popping off! What are these blind kills that you are having right now? It's working in your favor. And I think maybe the reason to that is her pre-aim skills are phenomenal. The turret is there, but you know, maybe CZ gets one or Ophelia to rush it in to secure this round.
I don't know what it is, if Lady Luck is shining on Ayumi or if it's just her mad sick skills. She's able to find all of these shots. Taking a shot in the dark, past a cloudburst, doesn't matter. I'm still going to find a head. I mean, maybe it's the footsteps, maybe the fact that she saw it a split second before it actually went up.
Yeah.
But she has pristine crosshair placement, not to mention her teammates aiding her so much. The way that they push in, the way that they hold for post-plant positions, they make sure that if Mad Army are going to try to peek them, there's at least more than one target on the screen at all times, and that just means that Mad Army are going to be a little bit overwhelmed. And now, winning 2 pistol rounds, Mad Army are at the back of this game. I mean, how do they respond to this? They've got a couple of shorties, but I don't think that's the best buy that they could ask for.
I mean, if we're in this kind of situation, I'm not even going to be surprised if they decide to go and just stack a site. But you know that saying wherein a woman's intuition is 99% correct.
Okay.
Ayumi is just proving that point right now with 19k on her scoreboard, especially with how she pre-aims everything. It's becoming a threat against Mad Army, and it's really something that they need to consider with each and every round that passes. So right now we are seeing a very slow push for the side of Celeste. Look at this. Oriophila taking Anko down. This is quite vital because Anko is one of the members of Mad Army that goes in for the opening. And Neri for a kill of her own here, especially with better weaponry as well. Beautiful right kick from Jenny to respond, but she will be detected by the recon ball. Yell to answer it. Beautifully done with the assist of Jet and Sova, and not gonna falter as she takes another in towards Raptors, making it a 3 seed, she says, and that is a beautiful win for the side of Celeste.
It was a good attempt from Mad Army, but this is not how they could have best done this. I mean, 5-9 is the score right now. Very potentially even 10-5, just because Mad Army don't quite have the best defenses, and at the same time, Alter Ego Celeste are just running them down. They kind of sense that, okay, Mad Army are not this just random team. They're probably going to try some kind of a strat, maybe even shorties. And that is why they creeped up towards the side of A, and kind of like a jack-in-the-box, they just pop out at the best possible moment, surprising every single player. And once they got the spike down, once they have control, it's just seemingly so difficult to retake. Muffin, though, this time around with an opening pick, just hiding around one of these forward positions, she's actually able to do a little bit of damage, which is good. But they still need a little bit more information. It's guns versus guns right now. We have seen how deadly Alter Ego Celeste can be, but they need the correct situations for these guns to pop off.
This is quite risky for the side of Oriophila, to say the least. Her alone, especially with that spike, while the other three, where the other 3 goes for that flank. But to be fair, we've seen Oriophila pop off here, so if she could just, take some peeks and put it into her favor, it would work. But loving the patience for Mad Army right now. They know that they are at the advantage, and Ginny just took that into her arsenal. But with the shutdown from Ayumi and Oriophila here, leaves an opening. Baby DC for the trade. Anko knows that she's gonna get that spike soon and goes and take her down. Ayumi with a low break of health is going to be taken down by Anko here. 6-9 on our scoreboard, still close, but in terms of gaps, Celeste still has it.
Still has it indeed. I mean, it's a 3-round gap. Mad Army, thankfully this time around, were able to read the situation correctly. And, you know, even despite losing a couple players early on, they just held their ground. You know that the players are going to be pushing past screens, maybe even maze, so all you got to do is just wait for them, let them walk into your crosshair, and that's what Anko is trying to do right now. It didn't work out as well when they were on the attack because Anko tended to be this sort of lone wolf player away from the rest of her team, but this time around, she's sticking with her pack, she's helping them out, and it's actually this lovely bit of teamwork that they've got. She even heard that little step up onto towards pipes. Now they know the lockdown is there. They could just wait this out, maybe set up for a retake of sorts. At the same time, they're just holding their ground. Muffin can dash away. She knows that they don't hear footsteps yet. If they just find a couple more kills, it's going to stop the push. It's going to stifle their momentum. So even though Muffin got detained right now, AAC are just now pushing in. 4v3. Mad Army should be able to take this.
And looking at the flank here, we do see Polly making her way. Let's see if, you know, Celeste is able to notice this. Anko, though, is going to take down Orifilia. That's going to be detected here as well. Look at that beautiful crossfire for both sides of the teams. Going to be tried and diffused. But Ayumi, though, Ayumi's quite pinned here. She's quite sandwiched. Will she be able to isolate the fight? Because look, the spike is still diffused, but then again, it's an understanding that she is pinned down. She doesn't have much to do there, and the spike that isn't planted for her, and she is positioned in a manner wherein it doesn't favor her. So it's quite you know, you have to understand that. So here we are seeing, in terms of weaponry, a bit of a save that will be coming from Alter Ego this time. So we may expect some amount of aggressive push on towards the site, yeah, as we can see on how they're positioned, because again, going for the save means that you want better weaponry on the next round, right? So with you only have to utilize everything that you can. And it's best if you guys are double peeking or triple peeking. And look at this, utilities to be used in towards B, and this is a rush take. They can go for that post-plant situation, but the question comes for the side of Mad Army. How are they going to retake that?
It's a bit of a full-force death ball that they were trying to pull off. But so far, no need for retakes just yet because they already have this info. They just need to, you know, kind of assert their dominance a little bit. Apply some pressure, fire a couple of warning shots, and Alter Ego Celeste knows it's not going to be a favorable duel. So instead, they're going to back off somehow towards mid, expecting the player to be lurking. They will be able to take one down, but here it comes. It's going to be Muffin with the operator. The res was still good, though, and somehow, in the midst of that, you still have Inari pushing up B. She was able to take another player down, and that leaves Mad Army at a number disadvantage. And now the spike is coming back in because of Inari space. It's going to be a little bit more difficult for the retakes.
Indeed, but look at this though. They went an attempt towards mid, still going in towards A. Viper spit now for Tarfiel.
Oh, that's
and
good.
Polly though takes Ayumi down. Spike is planted though. The retake is gonna happen for the side of Mad Army. Let's see if they are able to do it though. They are able to isolate fights. Because right now, this Viper Spit is also becoming tedious to work with here, but Muffin, with a beautiful pre-aim in towards flank, takes down Iceberg. And with the Recon Dart, was able to take another Blade Storm shot here, denying that ult coming in. And they are able to secure it. They're slowly crawling towards the scoreline.
That was incredible teamwork from Mad Army. Muffin was just hiding on the top of that thing like an observational post the whole time, and she was maybe kind of expecting a player to be moving around towards mid, but more likely than that, it's going to be Ginny calling out to her team, guys, I have a recon ball that's going to come up in the matter of like maybe 5 seconds, so just wait. Let's just wait for a second. Now I've got it. I'm going to shoot it into the Viper's Pit. You get information, and that's how they dismantled this Viper's Pit setup that Alter Ego Celeste was trying to bank off of. Off of this win, it's very likely that Mad Army can continue rolling forward and maybe even push this in towards a bit of a lead.
Muffin with the operator as well and towards Rafters, but is detected by Recon Vault, so it's safe to assume that they won't be going in towards Bells. This is gonna be another lockdown for Ayumi. This is interesting. Are they going to invest in this though is the question, because there are two things. Either you commit the site or just use this as diversion. But we see, however, Inari will be tagged alongside that Hunter's Fury to slim down the health, but Oriophilia with the gang was able to double peek Anko through the nest. Now comes the spike down. Are they able to get it? No, actually Muffin takes one. Oriophilia for the trade. 3 versus 4. In terms of numbers, Celeste has it, and this time they're watching for flanks.
Yeah, they're watching for flanks. They're setting up post-plant positions. Ayumi just pushing up front, gonna get a quick double. Thankfully, Baby TZ is there to shut that down, but still, she's got 3 more targets to find. And given their current positions, it's way too difficult. Not unless she pushes up front, and if she does, she's gonna give up info. She's gonna take a little bit of time. So what else she's gonna do is to just pick up the operator, back off for the save. A 2-round deficit is still not so bad. They could still come back into the game, but unfortunately this time around, they got to consider, why did this hold not work out so well? And I think it's largely due, in fact, yes, maybe the lockdown, but also because of how Alter Ego Celeste plays. They are so coordinated. It's almost as if every single one of those girls are like a hive mind. As soon as someone peeks out, if someone dies, there's going to be an instant trade. If someone pushes up towards the right, there's going to be another person pushing towards the left, and they do it at the same time. There's no way that you can split your crosshair into 2 on your screen, so unfortunately, Mad Army, if they don't have the numbers to deal with that kind of aggression, they won't be able to hold the sites. This time around, Viper's Pit to block off B. It could work, but Inari's trying to pull off a little bit of her own shenanigans from the side. Recon Bolt is good. She's pushing up front. She gets the frag, and then the trades come in. They just broke that defense. B side is completely open now.
But from the above, though, they need to guard her down. The spike is planted. Shockdart's not going to make it out to Orifil. Just look at how the utility really went in time the moment Celeste goes in towards B. That Viper's Pit, the moment it came down, it created an opening for Orifil to take down the BTZ. Ginny, though, will be getting a respective trade of her own, but this is too risky. Because at this point, post-plant situations for Alter Ego, they just need to go, just try to take it out of those peaks. But look, as Ginny takes one, Oreo for the trade, Muffin is quite pinned down in towards yellow with only an operator to use. And with that, quack, 11-8 now.
Damn, 11-8, and that was a bit of an expensive round for Mad Army as well. They had operators, they had Viper's Pit, and unfortunately it just went away just like that because of Alter Ego's coordination. And right now, because that was an expensive round, they don't have much to work with this time. Maybe a Guardian, maybe a Marshal, Sheriffs, Shorties. They're trying to pull out all the stops. They don't want to give Alter Ego Celeste match point. But unfortunately, I think it is quite likely, even with the ultimates that they've got, unless they have the perfect positions to stop this incoming onslaught, it's not going to happen.
And the onslaught as Ayumi starts, again with her operator prowess, really adding stress. All the more for the Mad Army updraft here, just to be used as a diversion for Taratiel to have that kill, and they now dominate the side. So this is our aggression that we've been looking for. That was a beautiful tap on the head as Inari may take a double here, bit whips, but Polly denies that fact. But with only a share to work with, she might get the Vandal, but Oreophilia is fast on her toes. Will be getting that cleanup for the match point of this first game.
Oh my god, Zaya. I feel like we haven't even been casting that long. Alter Ego Celeste have already pushed this in a match point. Just look at how they push up front. Ayumi already anticipating a player there. Positions her crosshair perfectly. Gets the first one. Anticipates the second as well. And then Inari, of course, just sharp as attack this girl. Anywhere she goes, the movement, she's actually able to take them down. Polly has some heroics, and this is kind of leading to my next point. Mad Army, these girls are a force to be reckoned with. They have what it takes. They have the individual skill. What they currently don't have just yet is a bit of that teamwork. Still, though, now that they have the full buys, they have Muffin on an operator, they could get a couple more rounds. Maybe even push us into overtime. Let's see how this plays out. The lockdown is already in place. Alter Ego Celeste not yet committing, though, because they know how deadly the shots can be. They're watching the angle. Ayumi's the one to watch out for. She's got sniper overwatch for her team. Anyone makes a single move, it's quite likely that she will get the flick.
Ayumi here pre-aim, that she knows! She knows that there are people.
Oh!
Especially with that spray, she just goes for the hit. No hesitation. After Biggie TZ, Anko takes one. There's the res there. They may go and it's so beautiful. Anko is trying to pop up. The Empress here, Horrible for that rundown. No, actually, Polly goes for the trade to secure her friend. Fallen friend here, saying the fight. The defuse is happening. She's gonna get tapped with another spirit with that iceberg. What a way to end it, as the 13-8 scoreline for game number 1 goes to Alter Ego Celeste.
Just throwing that Hunter's Fury spear right at wherever Ginny was, somehow actually catching her around the edge of that thing. So unfortunate. All these frags going left and right. Mad Army was actually this close to making the retake possible. It's just that, you know, Alter Ego Celeste, they had that trump card up their sleeve. Hunter's Fury was at the ready. They were waiting for it the whole damn time. And just like that, first map is gone, Zaya.
Definitely, but we still have a lot of games and more to tune in, guys, so don't go away. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to the Valorant Champions Tour Game Changers C-Series FSL Elite Analyst Desk, brought to you by Intel, Secret Lab, Nanoleaf, and official media partner Yahoo. I'm back once again with Donut and Jaeger to break down that map number 1 on Icebox 13-8. Fairly close game. I think some rounds could have gone Mad Army's way. What do we think?
Yeah, I agree. Absolutely. I mean, there was a lot of rounds there where it was very, very winnable, but you have to see like the main difference. You look at that big picture between these two teams, Alter Ego Celeste and Mad Army. Alter Ego Celeste, I think Quack at one point said hive mind. It's so true. Their cohesion as a team is ridiculous. Like, you'll see a peek go in from, say, a Yumi, and then you'll see a smoke cover as soon as she misses a shot or hits a shot, and that smoke comes in from the jet, right? And then she backs away. Suddenly you've got a shock dart coming in to cover the rotate back out, and then you've got someone else. Sorry, and then you got someone else watching as the peak comes in from the left side, and it's like every single thing, every single piece is so well placed, and it's amazing coming in from Celeste.
And that's a big difference when we watch Mad Army in terms of the pushes when they were attacking. It seems that they were a little bit reserved as compared to the games that we had earlier against RTS and the previous games that we've seen against NGX, because they know that Alter Ego Celeste is really a cohesive team in terms of the defense especially. And looking at the scoreboard now, it was really a Yumi that we wanted to take a look at earlier in the player matchup. And she really proved to be that MVP. She was literally a turret for the team. Not just as a killjoy, but she was a turret. Every time people would peek her, she would use an operator. And you can never go wrong with an anchor who plays that way.
Yeah, holy cow. Homegirl breaking that 400 ACS right there. Ayumi with that 401. But also a lot of the other members on A Celeste stepping up, but we don't usually expect them to be getting as many frags. We've got Rofila with the 282 as well. I mean, this game, and Neri with that 228 for her. That is a bit low. It's a phenomenal score, but for her, just, you know, this map 1, she hasn't even needed to be the main fragger for her team, just because the rest of her teammates have been stepping up so huge in the series. And there on the screens, you can see is 16k compared to that 13.6 damage in favor of AE Celeste. Frag wins 10-4 as well. Just absolutely huge. It's just really showing that AE Celeste are going for those battles and they're just winning off of those mechanics, and that teamwork also just very nice to see. I think going forward, looking towards this map number 2, is there anything that we're hoping to see Mad Army change up, or maybe just whether we think they have anything left in the tank still to show us for the rest of the series?
Well, I mean, looking at Split, we haven't really seen Mad Army play on Split. They always queue it up, but they never get into it. I stole that point from Quack. Thanks, Quack. But, like, literally, what can you even say about them? Right, so what were Mad Army doing correctly on Icebox? You saw they got more objective wins than frag wins. That does mean that they were pretty much scrounging for the objective. They were trying to make sure they were diffusing as much as possible or winning by the spike plant. And Alter Ego Celeste, they have, again, this is their map pick. They should be feeling very confident here. And that cohesion, Mad Army need to be able to break that up. That means that you need to expect that every single move you're going to make is going to have a double peak waiting or a smoke waiting to try and bail out each player, because they want to stay alive as much as possible, which means you're going to have to start pushing together, because we even saw even the defender side. They had defender side strats. Those are very, very difficult to call. And if Alter Ego Celeste have defender side strats on Split, Mad Army, even their attacker side, which they seem to be better at, is going to get that much more difficult.
Yeah, I
And
remember, Jace, you mentioned in the break before you came back to the desk that Mad Army were going to be in trouble because they can't even win on their own map pick, which was Icebox in that previous one. And Donut, you said in the pre-series analyst desk that you're kind of predicting for a 2-2 going into that map number 5. Has anything changed for you? What are we thinking?
well, looking at what happened earlier, I feel like I should change really the prediction because they lost their own map pick and Split is selected by AE. So I feel like it's gonna be, I'm gonna go with your decision here, Ray. It's going to be maybe a 3-1 now for AE Celeste.
Jace, still sticking with the 3-0?
It's
How we
it's
feeling?
3-0. It's 3-0. How do you beat a hive mind? They're too powerful. They're too powerful.
Yeah, especially with the map of Split, as mentioned by Jace earlier. In terms of the frag wins, AE Celeste were able to get 10 because of how open the map is. But for Split, especially that I know that AE Celeste has prepared for this. If they have those defensive strategies, if they're starting out on attack, I feel like they should be able to get the objective wins even further for this specific map.
Yeah, and I feel like Mad Army just might be in a bit of trouble this time around because I believe historically they've pretty much always banned Split, so we've almost never seen Mad Army play on this map. The thing is, with the addition of Fracture, and also since we're the first competitive region to add Fracture to our roster, Mad Army has had that terrible decision
Easy.
of having to ban Fracture instead, which is why they're playing Split this time around. But we are into Agent Select right now. Alter Ego Celeste once again just insta-locking all of their agents this time. They're going to be playing that Omen for Tarathiel this time around. Mad Army taking a bit longer. I think Jenny's probably going to end up with Sova. Oh, wow, Jet. That would be interesting. What do y'all think?
It would be interesting.
KO?
Oh, KO. That's also. I think KO is viable on Split, but she's just cycling at this point, so who even knows? The Omen pick, some people prefer to have a blind over Gravity Well. It does make sense, especially considering the fact that this team doesn't have any flashes whatsoever. So
Select
might as
your
well have the
agent.
one flash in your Omen. I think Ginny has to pick something with a flash because they've got nothing to flash with either.
Yeah, definitely agree. They don't have. Oh, but Ginny's
Oh,
locking
no
in the
flashes!
Jet. There's not going to be any flashes, so they're going to be just using the utility of the Astron as well as the race to get those entries. That's a bit tricky now. Maybe in the defense that would work, but in terms of the offense, I think they'll be a little bit cheeky against AE that at that point.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, how do we think this is going to pan out? We already had doubts coming into this one just because of the split map pick. Like, do we think that it's maybe that Mad Army haven't had as much time to practice? Are they just going for that confidence pick here with the agents? What's going on?
Maybe this is what they're most comfortable on. We haven't seen them play Split yet, so perhaps this is exactly how they play, and they're going to show us how they play Split.
All right, guys. Well, we're going to see if Mad Army can make this work, and we'll see if they can take this map number 2. But here is where Donut, Jason, and I bid all of you goodbye for now. We're going to hand the time over to Quack and Zaya to cast the rest of the series. Friends, take it away.
Thank you so much, Ray Richu, and you can see that it is Halloween. I'm kind of a little bit dressed up like Chamber, but you know what? A lot of people have been saying, like, tweeting out things like, "Oh, Chamber, step on me," and all that. But I think I got a little bit of a segue. I got a point. Alter Ego Celeste might just be the ones to step over Mad Army right here. This is their home map. Split is one of the maps that Alter Ego Celeste, any chance they get, if it's not banned, they are 100% going to pick it. And this is why. And also, in addition to that, they are a team that actually consistently switches up their agent composition based off of the teams that they're playing against. Earlier on, when they played against TC Arise, they had the Jet plus Raze combo. This time, they're going off of double controllers, double sentinels. This is interesting. They are starting out at the attack, and they're already pushing out towards A Heaven.
Oh man, this is going to be very interesting. And considering the lineups for both sides of the teams, they don't have flashers. For the side of Mad Army, they only have Polly and Astra for the smokers.
I don't like
Celestè to be Omen, but right now there's no casualties just yet, but they just created some presence on A, but they're marching their way towards B. This is your usual Celeste lineup, but Ayumi to actually open it up, Polly to deny it, but the wall is going to secure them at least, but Jin already knows she is already on the jet. So let's see how this is gonna go. The spike is in towards B. They have predicted that this could happen, so they just need to secure it, but that's a beautiful pixel peek from Jin. Polly as well to secure and to let Oreo be the remaining member, but she could be triple peaked here. This could be a game. This could be a round for Mad Army.
She's looking for it. Oh, she saw the little barrel. She gets the free play shot. Nicely done, Ginny. And I think
they basically made Ginny to be the jet here because, of course, this is Grand Finals. Like, you would want her to use this, right?
Yeah, this is the kind of thing, right? So they might not have flashes, but they're starting out on defense, and that is where it could actually work out somewhat well. The thing that you got to consider is the fact that Ginny, you know, she's prestigious, she's prominent, people know her from other FPS titles, but here in Valorant, when she first started playing, especially when she first started playing here in the FSL Valorant circuit with Mad Army, her first few picks were almost always Muffin. She's kind of made space for that so that Muffin can pick the jet. Now she's back on the jet, and she has that fragging potential. If she doesn't use her utilities to entry, instead playing a conservative jet, it could actually work out really nicely on the defense, and that's what we're seeing right now. They're trying to bait Alter Ego Celeste to peek in and push in, and then that's where the frags will start coming in along with that as well.
For you. Indeed, and that's going to be a heal as well for Anko. So this time they kind of like swap roles here, to say the least. Anko is going to be the jet or our sentinel here. And as you mentioned, this time Ginny is the one bringing the highlights here, but Polly sees a dropping Oreo and will be taking it down. And Baby TV for that frenzy take. Iceberg to trade, but not enough spray transfer. Better weaponry still goes in that army.
Pretty good, pretty standard stuff that we're seeing. I mean, they're just expecting for these duels to come in and kind of weaving around the pillars like what Oreophilia did to them in the previous map. So, of course, this being map number 2, they need to take this. If they do, this will put them in a better position. But considering the fact that this is Alter Ego Celeste's map pick, I don't think it's going to be that easy. Now they have the full buys, and you got to consider the fact, again, that Alter Ego Celeste, they have this really interesting initiator-less composition. 2 Sentinels, 2 Controllers might actually be really good once they actually get onto site. But of course, that being said, the first hurdle is still to break past and gain some map control. And right now, that's being denied by the players like Anko, who usually is a duelist. Right now, I'm just noticing she's on a Sage.
Indeed. I mean, I mean, you forgot me. You know, I mentioned that.
Oh, sorry.
Anyway, it's all right. I'm used to it. But going back here, make sure, you know, we did see earlier that Anko did certainly not forget Celestè there, especially with the flanking capabilities of Celeste. So we did see. I mean, we did mention at least as well for the panels that in terms of Mad Army not choosing split. We haven't seen them, but right now, at least in the first 2 rounds, they're actually doing it pretty well. So it's kind of like forcing Alter Ego to be more proactive and towards the map. Notice how they kind of like rotate to and fro from B to A after making some noise here and there. They don't hesitate, and that's already a common thing for them. But the question though, with only 4 members remaining, do you think numbers wouldn't be an issue for Celeste?
It should be an issue, because take a look at what Anko is playing. The setup that they've got, I say that, and then Neri proves us wrong! 3 kills in a matter of 3 seconds! Just like that! 12 seconds remaining, though, and they have yet to get the spike down, but that's not even needed! She just goes in for the kills, knowing that Polly's gonna be coming in from spawn? And Neri, what is this girl made of?
Look at this replay, Anko. You did say numbers advantage, but she's just gonna have that collateral along at the 180, getting Anko down for the 3K, and as well for the 4K. uses the satchels to transport herself to the screens and to clean up that fight. What is this? Eneri, you are built different.
She maybe, I don't know. Oh god, she might have broken her wrist off of that 180-ish flick. She really had to swipe across her mouse pad twice just to get that last frag. And right now, they know they have the advantage. They want to push in hard. They want to destroy Mad Army's economy. Still though, it's going to be a little bit difficult. They already have this information right now. Maybe just waiting for the toxic screen to dissipate, and then Mad Army will try to go in for a little bit more resistance. Eneri trying to deny that with her paint shells, create a little bit more space, creep up to the front, and then surprise them. It's going to be the peekaboo frag on towards Baby TZ, now looking for the next one. Muffin, a raise as well, wanting to hunt her down with the judge, but Eneri's already ran away. The spike still towards the A site. If Eneri's gone and in the wind, they are going to be wondering about her positioning. Meanwhile, this leaves up so much opportunity for Alter Ego Celestè and the rest of the team to actually push up to get the spike down. Oh my god.
Look at this. Look at they're dispersed, both of them. Tarathiel though managed to take a peek, but is dinked down to 2. Is this gonna be enough though? Muffin will be down into health as well, but Oreophilia will take Polly away off the map. Anko though is still in towards sight. But take note, Tarathiel was able to reposition herself and get out of that. But Muffin takes Eneri off the equation. Take note, there are some members who are low on health, but they don't have time. They need to plant the spike, but that was just quick from Oreophilia, knowing someone might take a peek in towards Ali. She did not hesitate. She did not hesitate to, push that spike in and goes for that fake plant. Beautifully done.
Yeah, anticipating impossible. Okay! Blind pre-fire up to the top of Rafter. She actually finds Iceberg. It is a common position, but that's still really smart plays. And now getting the second. All of a sudden, this is very doable for Mad Army. Not to mention that Anko is here to help her out as well. They're going to double peek this. It's going to be Tarathiel to get the first one, but then Ginny comes in for the refrag. Mad Army actually taking the fight to Alter Ego Celestè on their own map pick.
Ginny with the jet is really at next level here, and I think during that time in towards that last few seconds they called it, as you mentioned, that okay, let's not peek one by one, let's just go together, right? So this is the beautiful kill coming from Oreophilia. Get that spike blind shot in towards that corner, and here I think is where the decision factor is at. Look, they kind of hesitated first and then went to that double peek. Beautifully done for that 3K.
It's actually working out right now, this agent composition that they've got. But what I'm wondering, Zaya, is how does that work out once they swap over the other sides? And that is why it's so crucial that Mad Army wins as many rounds as possible on this first half. And again, I really gotta apologize that I didn't really catch you saying that Anko was on stage earlier on. But you know what?
I'm used to it.
No, we're not going to be used to it. We're going to change things here because this is game changers. They've got the lockdown and they're looking to change things up along with that. The Showstopper comes in now and it's going to be the full side execute. Showstopper actually does connect on towards Muffin, and along with the judge plays, she's looking for even more. Gets the double kill now. Picks up the Vandal. Okay, there we go. Looking for even more, maybe probably towards the top of heaven, but the retake is going to take a little bit of time because Mad Army wants to be calculated about this.
And this time it's post-fight, but Tarathiel though does not give Polly a time to go back and towards heaven. But look at this, Baby TZ may force the issue out, but for the res, was able to get Muffin up and about. But is it enough though? Time is ticking, time is of the essence. Oh, a little bit of a hit for the stat. Shows a Bondanary was off ankle, but still gets up 3K. Is it enough? Tarathiel on the backside, but the smoke, this is the diffuse toxin all around, but they're still pushing it. But right now it's suddenly go for ACL. That was just, I was about to say that it could have been a favorable manner for Mad Army, but what?
Wow.
What was that? You know what? This is where the replay really is comes to
help us.
Light, okay? All right, Eneri takes Muffin down as well as a detained Ginny. All right, she takes the Vandal. Tarathiel in towards backside. Okay, So this is where it happens. They weren't able to defuse it in time because with the toxin and as well as, you know, the other members just bought enough time for that to be prevented from happening. With Viper Spit, oh not Viper Spit, the wall rather. So really, I narrowed down the map, and Neri with the open entry.
Pretty good so far. Oh, she has an inkling, drops down. It's death from above, says Ginny. Looks for the remaining ones as well. Muffin getting downed just alerts her that there are players on this other side. She's going to use this sort of artificial corner erected from Anko's Sage Wall to maybe set up a possible off angle, but they're trying to take that panel down. Ginny cannot stay in that position any longer, but she's thinking of playing around the toxic screen. Is this a good call? I don't think so, because Tarathiel has support from Iceberg, unless with enough time Iceberg's attention is diverted. Nope, it's not going to happen. Not today. Iceberg is going to watch you down because this is the grand finals after all. No room for any mistakes, but instead it's going to be Polly to be so careful to watch the angle. Gets the first headshot, but Tarathiel with the hive mind refrag. It's Alter Ego Celeste. What they might not expect, though, is Baby TZ with a ghost. Like a ghost, a phantom, coming from the back. She's gonna strike her as soon as she taps the spike plant, and then the Yahoo Thrifty win for Mad Army.
I do apologize for the little squeaks here and there, but man, Mad Army.
No apologies necessary.
It's starting to be mad here. And let's look at that Anko with the beautiful opening as well, with Ginny taking Neri down, especially in off-angle sides. Iceberg though was able to take trades respectively, but still they got the job done. You know, really catching them off guard, isolating these fights. And Tarathiel unfortunately did not see Baby TZ coming in towards that site. So I think they need to kind of tweak a bit their strategies for the side of Celeste.
I mean, this is pretty cool. Like, what we're seeing is kind of this tug of war between pacing right now. And once Mad Army actually stopped the initial pushes, it kind of stifles Alter Ego Celeste's momentum a little bit. But right now, Neri's still sharp again. She will be able to take the head off of Muffin and maybe create another opening elsewhere. When one door closes, someone somewhere else always opens up another door, and that could be one towards either A or maybe mid right now. At least that's where they're getting curious about. They hear the jump, they hear the footsteps, and they're watching the angle.
Watching the angle. A bit of a slower push.
Whoa!
But Neri with the slow peek takes a free gun from Ginny, but they're still eyeing out B though. So Anko have a respective trade of our own towards A side and Oreophilia for the res to make that numbers advantage. They're slowly crawling up towards vents, but take note though, Anko and Baby TZ are there. Oh, never mind. You know, Baby TZ just okay. Let's try to go B. They're making their way towards B. This is interesting. They're stealthy at this point. And Neri with the opening once again takes the 3. Notification that okay, there's a Vandal here, guys. You know, why don't you take it? And this now forces both Baby TZ and Polly to double peek. But I think it should supposed to be telegraphed that they may come from screens and or heaven.
You know, you might have been squeaking earlier on, but I'm squeaking so many times internally, you have no idea. This was a thrifty round. Alter Ego Celeste had nothing but sheriffs. Somehow, off of Neri's heroics, just slowly creeping up towards places like mid, she was actually able to collect on a couple more skulls. And not just that, she picked up the Vandal as well. This retake is as good as gone because there's so much time taken just to rotate around to be Oscar Mike towards A, and right now the paint shells delays it even further. They already have information confirmed. They know where Polly is. No chance that she does this anymore because she's run out of time. The only thing is she going to survive the spike explosion? Is she going to survive the frags? She will, so not too bad. But again, what an incredible round by Alter Ego Celeste off of the impact frags that we're seeing from Neri, who is currently leading the scoreboard right now with a 13-5-2.
Indeed, and both Yahoo thrifty rounds for both sides of the team.
Yeah, we said it earlier, right? Sharing is caring. Yeah. They're just going to do that again.
Indeed, but both sides of our team not really wanting to falter at any time soon, so we can. It's quite safe to expect to have a more closer fight for this. Okay, Marshall, Ginny's going to miss that. But we'll take at least minus 20 from the HP. But of course, we do have Oreo to save the day and heal. But right now, they're creating a lot of sprays, a lot of noise, or blind, shots just so that they have that some luck to spot out one or two. But they're still not going in towards the side just yet. Maybe it could be another distraction for them to use to play these mind games that Celeste has been doing. She wasn't spotted,
Oh my
but
God.
Tarapyal takes one. Is it gonna be a spray transfer? No, but it forces Ginny to go back down. Uses the blind to create space in towards heaven. But in smoke, Iceberg takes Baby TZ down. And that's gonna be a spike plant showstopper. Ayumi as well denies Anko from
Oh
going
my
up
God.
above the vents. The smoke though, quite the essential part. Inari has to be very careful. Toxic. So they know now that they are in towards.
Whoa!
That beautiful one, making a double for Inari. Beautiful isolation of fights, and that is your secret lab, a flawless fight for the side of Celeste.
Have you ever seen anyone frag out like this girl before? 520 average combat score right now. This is incredible. They have been known to play rather slow and steady, a little bit more tactically as opposed to their constant rushes against some other teams in the past. But just because this is Mad Army, they take their time, and off of that, actually exploding out of little things like dark covers from Tarathiel. Inari just surprised the heck out of the Mad Army girls. They had no idea that she was going to come out at that time. They thought it was clear because of the snake bite. And right now, different round, they still don't have the buys. It's going to be a little bit of a half Guardian, Bucky, Sheriffs. They need to lock this site down middle. It's not working out though. The panel was there, and Neri knew that there was going to be a player around the spot, so she just blind sprays, and she was actually able to find one. That's a Bucky gone, and with that, you lose a little bit more firepower. There was a dink, but unfortunately, that's just not quite enough. Really, really unfortunate stuff, and then the rest of the squad will be rushing in. The spike will get planted pretty darn soon, and with those guns, do you think the retake is possible at all? Oh, she got spotted.
But you have to take note, gun difference into consideration, and that showstopper is denied away from Muffin, and they already know that Polly's in towards Evan, and Neri with that beautiful right click, another flawless secret lab moment for Celeste, and this is consecutive.
You know, I'm feeling like, you know, we dabble in a little bit of anime, but both teams are kind of like that Naruto. He's got the fox, and then Mad Army, they've got the Susanoo or something, right? Every time that Mad Army tries to defend and do something, all of a sudden you just see Alter Ego Celeste switch things up in terms of the pace. This round looked a lot more deliberate in terms of their pushes because they got the frags. They knew that Mad Army were on a bit of an eco. This time around, hopefully a little bit more different. There is an operator coming in from Ginny, but so far it hasn't been that effective. She's trying to lock down this angle right now, but off of the little jiggle peek, she's fired her shot, it whiffs, she has to back off and reposition. Meanwhile, Alter Ego Celeste just press the green button and they just keep on going. The Viper's Pit is already up on site, the spike has been planted. I just don't see a retake happening anymore.
It's quite hard to see at this point, but Muffin, though off angle, Tarathiel goes for the kill, and yeah, as you said it, retake is quite slim here because Inari is already holding off that angle towards screens. They're just basically returning the favor, but Ginny, to shut it down with an off kill, may go for that save instead, which is the best case scenario. But will Tarathiel go for the hunt kill?
Oh no.
Maybe not, like not too much bloodlust, maybe kind of reserve it for
the later half.
rounds to come. Yes, indeed. But again, you mentioned it, no chance of retakes here. They will save this op just so that they can get a bit more footing onto the next one. But the thing is, while all of this is happening, Celeste starts to run, and when I say run in terms of points, they're running to reach that goal.
Yeah, and that's really the thing. You know, you mentioned running, and look at how fast Alter Ego Celeste sprints. Off into the A side as soon as those the force field comes down, during the pre-buy phase of the rounds, they just rushed in, and Mad Army are not prepared for that. This time around, okay, Jenny did save up the operator. Let's see if she can actually do something here. But look at how they even approach it. They know that she saved it, so they're gonna go in together as a team. And right now, the showstopper going in towards Jenny's position. Thankfully, she made it away. But the space has been created, and Neri just rushing in like that. Thankfully, she got denied. So maybe with a Neri gone from the roster, the rotations won't be cut off any longer. Mad Army might actually be able to find a little bit more real estate to push in slowly but surely and then come in with the retakes. Baby TZ right now jumping from above with the judge. She's going to get a couple more. She wants to get them, but no! Iceberg just slaps her down. And then Polly from Spawn, they already see this all too clearly. 7-4 at the end of the first half. Remember what I said about how Mad Army does not have a flash and how Ginny was playing conservative Jet? If they continue like this, if it goes 8-4 and then they swap onto attack, no flashes, I just don't know how they're going to play that.
If you hear Quack roar, you know how intense the fight is. And just like this, in towards this game, this is the last match before the switch.
Ducks
so
quack,
Mad
they
Army,
don't roar.
Well, you technically I'm starting to question if you are actually Quack, but you know, never mind. Going in towards this game, best case scenario for Mad Army a 7-5, quite a viable scoreline. But with these utilities at play, maybe Muffin will go for the satchel in Judge potentially, but no, she may just go into our smoke, taking a Neri down off guard. Is it gonna be a double? Nope, not going to be transferred anymore. But we do see Oreo does not have no res, so she just needs 3 more kills, or maybe 2 more kills and 1 orb, to say the least, before actually getting that. But it's a 4-on-4 scoreline. I mean agents for both sides of the team. It's still quite equal in terms of the players, but they're still eyeing out towards A. They created a lot of presence here at this point. So Polly just, no, actually not Polly, it's Iceberg who placed her walls up above. Oh no, actually it's Polly, right? Yeah, it's Polly. So it is really nice to deny that fact, but the more that they stay here, the more that I feel like they're just gonna invest in A because they don't have time to rotate. That's gonna be one. It's gonna be another. Don't pick it one by one. But of course, Iceberg still wins that aim duel regardless. And these are the ult coming in from Baby TZ. Anko though, with the rest coming in from lobby, retake is possible.
So possible right now. Anko leading the charge from the back, and all of a sudden Iceberg is the last player alive. She still pushes up front though, will be able to take Baby TZ down, but she's revealed her location. And off of that, Muffin will be able to collect on her kill with the full spreaded Judge frag. And you know what? If Zaya gets angry and tells you, don't pick her 1 by 1, you gotta listen to her, right? Alter Ego Celeste, they went in 1 by 1. That was their mistake. That's why they didn't win that round. So we are at the end of the first half with 7-5. I think Mad Army can still take this. You know, for a map that we keep on saying, Alter Ego Celeste, this is their best possible map, 100% win rate. Anytime they get to pick it, they will. If Mad Army can actually take them this far, they stand a chance. I'm not giving up on Mad Army just yet.
Don't misunderstand. That's not me commending, okay? It's more of me just being in hype, alright? It's just me being on hype with the game. You can see how intense these games are. And I'm pretty sure our players know what they do. Come on.
Of course.
They're here for a reason, right? And right here, we are going to see the switch pistol round, very crucial, as we've highlighted time and time again. And we already see Muffin spotting out a Yumi in towards screens, but the paint shell is going to really give her a hard time as her HP depletes all down to 21. Has to wait for Oreophilia for that heal. Nice wall to back it up. Actually, it was a timed wall, to say the least, for Alco. A bit of a relief for Ayumi, but nonetheless, we see it here. They already have that post-plant position. And Neri, though,
my God,
Neri has the idea, but she has to be careful behind them. I saw Aneri like pre-aimed, but still Aneri did the job done. Goes in towards the flank, takes a little bit of jiggle peek, beautiful counter straight and Aneri to lock it up with the 3K. To just making things all better for the side of Celeste.
Oh no. I don't know if you caught that towards the end, but Akko was trying to b-hop away to stay alive, but they just chased her down. And of course, if you're gonna go with a bunny hop, Tarathiel's gonna be the one who's really happy about that because she's got bunnies of her own.
Yes,
But still, I mean, this is how Inari plays. She's leading the scoreboard right now, and we're seeing how incredibly smart and cerebral she can be about the game. You know, it's the first round, you buy a shorty. Who does that? You only do that if you have some kind of a deliberate plan, and that's Inari.
Which they do.
They position her up around the spots and paint shells and everything to clear out corners. This girl is way too good. 8 to 5. They win the pistol, the guns. Zaya, sorry to cut you off, but like, wait, do you think it's possible that Mad Army can actually push in?
Technically, it's a bonus for Celeste, so anything can happen. But again, with better weaponry, to say the least, for them, it's quite difficult because look at Inari. She has the judge, and if she has this judge, it's Judgment Day. But look at this double smoke. Imagine that. Just to do everything that they can to delay the push. But look at this, Inari. Polly does not shut down the one on flag. Inari takes on double on the front of three. Making a 3. It's gonna be a 4. No! She's shut down by Ginny, but Ayumi goes for the cleanup. 9 to 5 in our scoreline now. What a beast.
Just jumping back and forth, left clicking all the way. All of a sudden runs out of ammo. Thankfully her teammates were there, but this round, I gotta say, yes, Inari is incredible, but it's not just her. Ayumi going in for that flank, pushing down mid, actually gained so much intel for Alter Ego Celeste. They basically sandwiched Mad Army into garage. There was no way that Mad Army could have escaped. So Mad Army on the attacking side, like defense was pretty good, and partially it's because of this is split after all. It's still rather defender-sided if you know how to hold it. If you are, oh god, she thankfully gets denied. Like if you are Mad Army right now, you need some kind of a strat. You need some different game plan that's gonna surprise Alter Ego Celeste. Because if you just keep going for standard five member pushes, Alter Ego Celeste are gonna expect this. I mean, look at what Iceberg is doing right now.
Look at the flanks. They're not hesitating to just go with it the moment that presence is known. Speaking of that, Iceberg just takes Polly down. So the chances of them, just staying in towards A can't be quite high because they already know that they're being flanked. They're being watched here. And as you said, maybe another sandwich that Celeste could serve for Mad Army here. But it depends. Depends on how they're going to react to this. Because right now, we do see the wall that's going to come from Iceberg here to divide and conquer a site. And look at this. Ayumi with the Sheriff. No, it was not the best case scenario. But they are able to open up in towards A.
30 seconds left.
This is now a full retake potential for the members of Celeste. But maybe TZ fast on her feet shuts down Iceberg. Bit of a whip coming in, but she gets the 2. Tarathiel for the shutdown, but 2 versus 1 scenario. She has to isolate the fight.
1v2 is not impossible. She can isolate this, but taking a look at the minimap, guys, how Muffin and Alco are positioned, no, it's not going to be easy unless you push into elbow. And if you do want to push into elbow, you're going to have to drop down. So she could do it with a paranoia, but as soon as she peeks out, Anko has already spotted her because she had her crosshairs placed towards heaven. There was a chance that she could have either gone through maybe elbow, maybe screens, maybe heaven, maybe ramp. If she was to go to ramp, Anko should have seen it because she was looking down at one spot. So, I like what you said there, divide and conquer, but unfortunately this time around, it just wasn't quite enough. Mad Army, you might try to divide them, but they will not. They will unite themselves.
Indeed, and of course, I think for the side of Mad Army, it can be quite a given now that, alright, Celeste goes for flank, so might as well watch that out for, that's the thing to watch out for. So, look at how Ollie and maybe Team here just stay here. I'm not neglecting the garage potential take, but they are breaking through these walls. Let's see if they can go, attack on Thailand moments here and just Sasageo, but right now Oreo is above the wall. Let's see if this off-angle peek can be beneficial for her, because right now both sides of the team really being patient, not really getting those picks at hand, but off angle is gonna be one of which, but it took time, but the Pain Shells is gonna go for the reply again with the Aries as well. So they replied with utilities, if that's the play, you know, a rule of equivalent exchange for both sides. The Percial is going to put the odds up above their stature. And Iceberg with a dodge from behind gets one. Is it gonna be another in smoke?
Whoa!
Holy! What's the damage? Percial can go for the cleanup, but you know what? It worked well for Celeste, but it was really close, I'd say, at least for Mad Army.
Kind of close. I wish it was closer. Polly getting that flick looked so good. But unfortunately for her, this is still Alter Ego Celeste that they're dealing with. Like we said earlier on, the hive mind. Once they get intel, they know where to look, and they're going to do it as a team. I mean, look at this. Tarathiel was already in position, but at the same time, you had Oreophilia coming from the top of B Heaven. So I'm not sure you guys caught that, but man, Zaya's spitting lines right now. Is it going to be Anko to Sasageyo this time, or is it going to be Oreo? I don't really know.
You know what? To be fair, both of these teams are really formidable in hindsight, and we are seeing half health. Maybe. Oh, okay, never mind. You know what? I was about to. Neri takes it down with a Pain Shell, and as well as a Phantom Kill, uses the Pain Shell and Satchel to reposition. Beautifully done. It saved her from that death, and right now it forces us down to 3. They're kind of in a bit of a pinch here inside of Mad Army. Oreo takes one, and Eri for the 3rd. Is it gonna be a 4K here? As we see Anko running towards sewers in deep tracks the corner, but
She knows.
Iceberg has a judge to clean it up.
It's just, it's right there. The words are right there on the screen. Secret lab,
Yes.
flawless. Like,
Flawless.
we keep seeing how Aneri positions herself up towards the mouth of like A ramps or maybe even B garage. Anyone tries to push out, she's ready for her. Semper Paratus, always ready, and that is what this girl is made of. As soon as a push comes in, she's got a teammate to support her towards the top of A ramps as well. And that is just such a difficult setup because Alter Ego Celeste are that strong. They don't have flashes. There's no chance that they're going to break through setups like that. So that's kind of an oversight on Mad Army's part with their agent composition. But let's see if they can actually do something right now. They do have the full buys. There is a Viper's Pit to basically kind of box them in towards garage as well as mid.
Definitely, and here Viper's Pit. This is so interesting. Muffin though still is able to take Iceberg down, uses the showstopper satchel. Will she see Oreo though? But the slow orb denies that mobility, and that's actually a good thing. But Inari from the behind, okay, you know what? I'm gonna repeat the same mistake twice, but Muffin here is going to clean it up. 11-7. For the side of Mad Army, slowly making it convenient, wink wink, for them. But let's see up until how this goes, you know? Because we do see that certain amount of limit that you can take in making these games. But to be fair, a Mad Army still has this fighting chance. They just need some plays like these.
You know, yeah, 7-Eleven. It's a convenience. It's a store. And right now, Mad Army want a little bit more. They're looking for the rounds that they've lost earlier on in the second half. Again, though, it's kind of the thing about what you mentioned earlier on, mobility. If Oreophilia can actually stifle them with her slow orbs, it could do a lot of work in stopping Mad Army from pushing forward. But if Muffin combined with Ginny, they can actually just rush in, that could put a stop to whatever Alter Ego Celeste are trying to stall them with. Right now, though, again, it's a similar setup. This one is really difficult to break through unless you surprise Aneri somehow or clear out that corner. Face checking, it could work! And Muffin has just done it! She's They've got not that much utility to work with, though. Right now, it's just Blast Pack, so maybe trying to set herself up into position to cut them off and rotates while the rest of her team stream into sight. If they can take a Yumi down, this would be good, but right now it's a little bit difficult. The Snake Bite still will connect, though, so she's 10 HP, one bullet to wallbanger, and she's dead. And there we go. Site control granted to Mad Army. Spike goes down, they're going to set up, and they're already in position for a flank.
Beautiful. Post-plant positions are now up and running for the side of Mad Army, and let's see if the retake capabilities of Celestè are on point. Anko still has the rest, so she has the option of having Polly, but I think her body is in heaven, so that she may reserve that for the next round. But they are quite taking their time in terms of this potential retake. That's gonna be a blind, but Anko sees one, make it another beautiful. And to end it all up with the 3K, the predictions, the pre-aims, really chef's kiss for Anko. And that is just a Sageo moment for her.
Anko!
11-8 now, but look at this though, highlighting and Neri with 33K on the scoreline.
Oh my god.
That's interesting.
She's a beast titan, just slinging rocks, doesn't matter. I'm gonna stay in screens. I already know where you're gonna be. I don't have to move that much, and it doesn't matter if she's playing Reyna. She can frag out as well on Sage, so this is amazing stuff from Mad Army. 11-8, the comeback is slowly but surely going into the game. They still need 3 more rounds. One mistake, Alter Ego Celestè could turn this into match point, so they cannot afford a single gap. Trying to be careful about this right now.
But right now, I love the aggression that's coming in from Muffin here. Not hesitating to break down these walls, trusting really, in at least in this scenario, Ginny as well, so that they can go for that potential double peak. But then again, they are quite dispersed throughout the map, so it's safe to say that they are playing for peaks. They wanna isolate the fights and just remove at least 1 or 2 members from either sides of the team. For the side of Celestè, though, them being too reactive with this quiet stance that we're witnessing right now, it means that they may have better footing. But the turret is going to telegraph that someone is from Garage. So let's see if they can make use out of this, because look at the weaponry from them. Muffin though will catch one from behind. 180 make it down, but Showstopper, is it gonna hit? Indeed, but not enough to survive as Muffin gets that 3K. 2 versus 3 now. Numbers in the hands of Mad Army. Post-plant positions is at bay. But we've seen Celestè do clutch moments, so let's see if it's viable for this one.
I don't think it's going to be too viable. Rathiel, Spectre, the rest of the squad on Mad Army's side just ready for this. She's going to peek out, maybe a little bit of face check. Will actually be able to take Muffin down from that range because she was low, but Polly's good for the trade. So Mad Army, like, we talked about the aggression that Muffin had in towards mid, taking down panels, and then her teammates making noise towards Garage. Just kind of distracted Alter Ego Celestè for a little bit of a second. They kind of thought that they had to play towards the back of stairs or something along those lines, but in all that time, Muffin actually just creeped up towards the front. Meanwhile, they coordinated a push coming in from Garage at the same time. Rafters plus Garage equals win. So that's what we've got right now, 9-11. Let's see if they can take down even more.
Celestè toned down quite a bit in this defensive side. I mean, we've been noticing this at least for quite a few days, that their attacks very, very aggressive. Defense may need to, try to. It's great. They have great defense, yes, but you do see that this is quite the point where other teams or the attackers can snag up some points. So right now, Celestè here, I think they can at least go for double peaks too. And Taraka's gonna start it really nice. Muffin for the trade here as she takes down Iceberg, and maybe TZ to help Muffin double peek that side. And Neri and the gang already in towards screen, so it's safe to assume that they are. Anko now using the res to, you know, have that 5-man stack. Once again, the spike has been planted. Let's go for the retake capabilities of Celeste here. Is it gonna come to life though?
Maybe. Off of Muffin's aggressive play like that, they shut that down. The res comes in. We're back to even numbers. And then the lockdown comes in. Oh, no. This just has turned into a Yumi's realm. The snake bite as well. All of a sudden, Akko has to be the one to stop this, and she will! The triple spray, but then Inari answers back with her own! Polly's the last one left alive. She's trying to play post-plant, but she's too far! If she gets on the side, it's a little bit too late! Inari is stuck to defuse, and then she's gotten the win! Alter Ego Celeste are on match point, and then the kill? That is the final insult!
As Jaeger has
38
towards the panel. Such disrespect. And
Oh,
this was just
God.
like this here. To be fair, Trasale made an opening Muffin for the trade and maybe TZ as well. But this is the shutdown, one of the things that started it out. But the main highlight is Anko was able to pop off only to be shut down by Inari. And the thing is, that lockdown and turret was great. It was a great help. But with Ice versus Toxin was able to take down Ginny in towards that corner, and man, I think it was a bit of a complacent play from Polly because she was quite far off the site, right? So Inari opens it up here in towards the second, the match point potentially, in towards this round.
Damn.
But they are bringing bodies on the floor right now. So here, Ayumi with that patience still was able to get another one down.
Oh my god, Alter Ego Celeste, I think they've crumpled Mad Army's morale. 2 players remaining. You cannot relax playing against a team like Alter Ego Celeste, and right now,
Indeed.
you know, Neri's just saying, like, what if you do got me boxed in? And I gotta put you down. So no matter what, I will not hesitate, not for a second. So, just waiting.
And Neri has the never gonna give you up moment.
Oh my
right here,
God.
you know, and she just did that. But right now,
You know the rules.
you know the rules.
So
yes,
do I.
Indeed. You guys can like do that. But right, like there is a reason why even
30
us
seconds
casters
left.
quite toned down a bit after that because it deserves that dicing, you know? And here, Ginny with a
enemy
slow
remaining.
fake. Ayumi free and beautifully. Is it gonna be a 3K? Indeed, and that is a
Defenders
9-13. Match point now.
You talk about...
Quack.
You gotta slice and dice. It's just clean sashimi, you know? Ayumi just holding the angle, someone comes up front, she sees the line, she already knows. It's just one slice, and off goes their head. And that's Alter Ego Celeste. You cannot relax when you play against a team like this. You think Akko was doing all the work, triple kill, it was good. She probably would have won the round. And then Inari comes in from elbow. That's just disgusting. Downright disgusting.
With the great help of utility management, man, you really gotta have these plans sorted out against Celeste. But right now, we are slowly crawling in towards this game number 3, a potential match
3-0?
point for Celeste, unless Mad Army has something to say about it. But you know what? We'll be finding that out in a bit as, you know, Theora and Quack will be taking a quick break.
Welcome back to the VCT Game Changers C-Series of Elite Analyst Desk, brought to you by Intel, Secret Lab, Nanoleaf, and official media partner Yahoo. You guys know the drill, it's us again, Ray Recruit, Donut, and Jaeger here to break down that 13-9 map number 2 over on Split. We were apprehensive going into map number 2, but Mad Army starting to pull out all the stops, although they haven't managed to secure a map win yet. What do we think about that last one?
Donut.
Yeah, well, they were. Well, what? You want to give it to me?
Wow!
But
Always me
yeah,
first.
it was really Yahoo Thrifties after Yahoo Thrifties and Secret Lab Flawlesses after Secret Lab Flawlesses. So it just really goes to show that both of these teams have a lot to give and this map specifically, because in terms of the reads, especially for Inari, as that raise, yes, it's going to be her staple pick, but specifically for this map, her kills were just what impacted all of these wins, and she almost got that 40, bro. Her KDA, even with 39 kills, is what, 2.9 KDA. So in terms of really, it's not just really the wits, but it's also the expertise, her movement. I have nothing to say. I'm speechless.
500. She nearly 40 bombs in an official. Just casually, right? First game, Ayumi drops a 30 bomb, just casually. Ineri, second game, drops 39 kills. What's next, right? We're into our third map. Could be our last map, depending on how Alter Ego do. And I mean, yeah, you're absolutely right. Mad Army did a really good job on that map. They were pulling out all the stops. They were. The thing is, when I compare these two, you can see that headshot percentage is that much higher, right? I feel like it was because a lot of individual performances popping up for Mad Army there, where they needed the right player at the right time to do the right thing. And like, yeah, that timing sometimes came their way, but more often than not, it was because that timing was it just happened to be in their favor. Alter Ego keep making their own space using that teamwork, and that's why they keep winning out over Mad Army. It's because, again, it comes back to what we were talking about in the first map and heading into that second map as well. It's the fact that Alter Ego, they've been playing with each other for so long. They know how to cover for each other. They know each other's tendencies. They are able to respond properly to each situation, and they keep creating the opportunities. Mad Army, all they can do is wait for them. And that is why, ultimately, I still believe in that 3-0.
Yeah, I mean, it's almost as if Ineri heard us wrapping up that map number 1 desk when we were like, oh, Ineri, only 220 ACS? Like, what went on during map number 1? And she just came back map number 2 with that 39 kill score, as well as breaking that 500 ACS barrier. But looking forward for the rest of the series, especially for this absolutely crucial map number 3. We're going to look at the head-to-head between Ineri as well as Anko. What do we think?
I mean, Anko really did show up earlier as that Sage, because Jinny really did take that role as that Jet. It's something that we really wanted to see from her, getting on and back at that duelist role. But Anko did pop off as that support. But she was, as mentioned by Jaeger, it was really just more of that individual skills that Mad Army showed us. But the team play of Alter Ego Celeste is a little bit more supported by each of the agents in that specific map. It just so happened that Ineri was really the ones that they get to meet. Ineri holding these off angles with a judge or whatever weapon that she's wielding, she manages to really get those multi kills.
Yeah, I mean, Ineri diff, Alter Ego Celeste diff at this point. Mad Army, they're going to have an uphill battle ahead of them, especially considering that the next map from map number 3 is Ascent, which is, I want to say it's 100% win rate for AE Celeste through FSL so far. So Mad Army, I mean, they're down 0-2. They definitely have to win this map, but it's on Ascent, so it's going to be tough.
Well,
I mean, yeah, like for...
Go ahead.
Well,
Jaeger.
because this is Mad Army's second map pick, right? And we've seen Mad Army put up performances on Ascent where they make pretty convincing score lines. The last time we saw them play there was a 13-2 against Big Scythe. That was at least in Elite. But it's Alter Ego, and again, the teamwork. They know how to make the space. And the other thing is, even when you rely on that individual skill on a map like Ascent, where you have so much space to create smokes and to get flanked from as well, Alter Ego are going to catch off a lot more of those potential individual plays because the map is that much more open and there's so many positions that they can flank from. They can take advantage of a lot of those things. And so Ascent, yeah, it's their map pick, but it's still very difficult.
Yeah, we're about ready to hop into Agent Select right now just to see if Mad Army or AE Celeste have any surprises in store for us. Wait, Ayumi, she locked in the KO?
You love to see it. I mean, that's a good place that you can like that double initiator play on Ascent. It really does work. And
all right, it's a 3-1, boys.
No, that's not how it works. That's not how it works. Trust.
Pack it up. Go
They
next.
know what they're doing. Trust.
Yeah.
They know what they're doing.
I mean, Ayumi did show up earlier as that Killjoy, but right now with the use of the utility now as the KO, she could maybe utilize that in terms of getting that map control. Mid control is very important for a map like Ascent, so having all of that utilities in place, just really using that fragment to try and stop any type of push, as they are on
Choose your
that
agent.
defense, that could be something that's for them to use, especially if Jinny is hovering over that sky. If they don't have any utility for that entry, then that can actually just put a halt in terms of these attacks.
Yeah, they've put Muffin back onto the Jet this time around in that all-crucial map number 3, and then Ginny is going to go back onto that Sova. I'm not really sure if this will come back and bite them. I mean, we saw just how stellar of a player Ginny is, especially in those clutch situations. But guys, we're going to hand it over to Zaya as well as Quack for now to see if Mad Army can force a series in this all-crucial best-of-5 grand final. Zaya and Quack, back over to you.
Thank you very much, Reirachu, Jaeger, as well as Donut. But somebody once told me that Alter Ego Celeste might just be able to roll this one over, right? Like 3-0. It's very, very possible. But I really, really hope that Mad Army has some kind of a surprise in store for us.
Potential match point now for Alter Ego Celeste, really slowly claiming and defending the crown that they have been wearing for most, actually all of our FSL. And right now, Mad Army, they need to be mad right now. And the stakes are quite high in towards their positions because, as our panelists have said, in terms of statistics here, both of our teams, yes, sure, they have won their Ascent games, but in terms of the number count on how many times that they've been playing these, Alter Ego Celeste, they have won this, I think, 16 times or 11 times. Hence, for Mad Army, they've won it 3 times. So you have to take that into consideration as well. But here, Neri, take note, she's the defender and she's going on the offense. It's like our basketball game, you know. But we're gonna start off with a beautiful double peek from Neri and Iceberg here. Iceberg will take some amount of hits, but will be not healed because there are no sages. But Muffin is going to have that trade though, taking advantage of that low HP. But Neri from the behind takes one. Is it gonna be another? No, because Baby TZ is gonna secure that kill alongside. And Ginny also has her gun to spare. Anko, however, will be taking her kill down as well in the process. In the spawn, takes a jiggle pig, but still wins the fight. And of course, it's not enough though, dancing around, but the tango is in the lead for Anko as they started it with a bang.
I mean, talk about bangs, talk about basketball. It's Anko with the swish and flick. Somehow just actually able to creep all the way up past Pizza, past Market, and in towards Defender Spawn, where she just sets herself up knowing that there is a potential for rotations coming in from AEC. So, thankfully, she was actually able to take Aureophilia down. Maybe it's a slight mistake from Aureophilia's part, you know, just giving Mad Army a little bit of a chance. But here it is. This is their map pick. They're starting on attack, and they're actually able to take the pistol win. So off of this, you get the buys, and you get to continue forward with some momentum. Maybe they can win this next round as well, but we never quite know because we have seen the Yahoo Thrifties from AEC.
Right now, they are gonna go for some shifts. I like this kind of economy that they did, just so that they have great rifles for the next one. So it can be safe to assume that a Mad Army has this. But here we do see low HP for Muffin and Anko, which I think Celeste can use or take advantage of because their sheriff kills are still on point, and also the right clicks with the classics. So it's just a matter of them being able to position themselves in a favorable manner. So here we do see, I did see Neri knows that he's there because of these sprays coming in. Oh, she also knows. But it's not enough. Muffin takes that Spectre, making a 3. Arya for the trade. Baby TZ to really shut her down. Baby TZ though still goes for that jiggle pig. Beautifully done, and that's the second round for Mad Army.
That's right. You know, she might know. She might know, and she might have seen some of these positions, but knowing is only half the battle one. Only half. She still has to find those frags, and with a sheriff up close and personal, When you're going up against Spectre, it's much more easier for Muffin to just counter strafe, run and gun, left click, hold, spray, and pray, and somehow still able to collect on the kills. The only thing, though, that one caveat to this is the fact that now Alter Ego Celeste has the full buys. They have the rifles, maybe with the exception of Ayumi. But the fact that this is Ascent, you got so many long corridors, so many long ranges. The rifles should do a lot better, unless Mad Army can somehow use their utility to creep up front. And I think that's what they're trying to do right now. A little bit of mid control. Unfortunately, that gets denied by Ayumi. And right now, timing on the backing away from Ophelia. It's going to be Muffin that exploits that, pushing up front now. A little bit of a whiff spray, but thankfully Akko's there to recover. They gain control over A site.
This is interesting, though, for the side of Mad Army really asserting their
What?
dominance. But there with the flick with the 3K! What is that? What a beautiful monster she is! And right now goes in towards help, but not enough as Polly goes with the off-angle shield, uses this grenade for the side of Ayumi, who is going to win this jiggle peeking fight. Is it her? Is it her as well? But no! Polly secures it with a 3K, and that is a nano leaf clutch by Mad Army.
Neri, oh my god.
The goosebumps on really?
It's just like freaking Freddy Krueger or something. The nightmare on Elm Street of A site. As soon as the smoke goes away, saw the first head, snaps to the one farthest away, and then spray transfers to the next one that is closer and closer, somehow collecting the third. If not for Polly, that round could have gone so wrong. Thankfully, she was there to save the day. The Nano Leaf clutch 1v2. They win the bonus round. This is the best chance Mad Army has at stealing a map away from Alter Ego Celeste.
Indeed, but Ginny will be having that opening here, taking Iceberg down towards mid, and Nerido still knows that one is there. Maybe TZ is going to be taken down by that Blaze Storm. And Neri is being monstrous right now. She is a force to be reckoned with, and her watching these flanks, it could be intel from her sake, because she may be coming in from mid. So in the process, actually this is Muffin, but in the process, look at this. They are already crawling towards A, in which Sarathiel and Ineri are at. So with the right amount of timing, maybe this could work out for them. But Mad Army using all these utilities. Muffin takes one, but the recall has been take one as well. There's no trade for the side of Celeste here. Let's see if the off-angle pick can come through. And Ayumi will be taking that Spectre kill. But post-plant situations, Ayumi is the single member alive. Uses all of the utilities that she has, at least to gain some amount of info. But she's just gonna jiggle peek it all through. But I think this could be another round for Mad Army, but man.
No.
And there you go, like Ginny for the tap. That's a beautiful win.
It's just so clean. Now that they're going in with this sudden aggression, Alter Ego Celeste weren't quite sure what to expect, and of course you got to consider the fact that they didn't have the best buys after losing out on the bonus round. So, you know, Neri might have gotten a couple of frags here and there. She's still that devastating, but you got Muffin. You got Muffin to count on from the side of Mad Army, and when she's on this jet, she gets to fly all over the place. Muffin loves to go hunting, and she will be looking for Yumi. Unfortunately, not for long, but at the end of the day, it's still Mad Army cleaning up the rounds. And here we go, next round number 5. Let's see what Mad Army still has in store. They cannot afford to drop this losing streak, not yet. I mean, they kind of can. It's not the worst thing in the world, but it would be so much better if they just get more wins. And right now, Muffin already in towards Pizza. This is a pivotal position because she gets to do plays like that, just peeking out, swings in, and now the B-split can happen. The spike hasn't been collected yet, though. So Alter Ego Celeste can bank on that fact and kind of try to play around since they know there is a play towards B. Maybe push out of A, get some info. Anko's trying to deny it. Muffin pushes up front, gets shut down by Tarathiel.
And right now, it's a 4 versus 4, still an even playing field. But Ayumi, you know what? As I say it, she denies it. And 3 versus 4 now. That suppress is not going to take anyone, to say the least. But this camera, though, can provide some intel. But post-plant situations are still in the hands of Mad Army. But unless the retake says that that's going to be the flash, you have to check your corners. So Polly with the one, make it another. Ayumi to shut her down. Maybe easy for that trade. and Iceberg was able to spot her out, but she also has low HP, and Jenny will be cleaning it up 5-0. I think this could be a call for a timeout, or maybe.
Yeah. Maybe. I think that could be something that they need, right? Losing 5 rounds in a row, they have to question themselves. How are they losing these rounds? And I think one of those reasons could be the fact that they're actually a little bit less confident than what we saw, what we've seen from before. I mean, of course, Yumi and Neri, they have been fragging out of their minds. They could just be feeling a little bit like they're coming off that high. So just relaxing for a little bit, just trying to get some info. They actually leave gaps on the map, and Mad Army read that perfectly. You got players like Muffin to push up front. This time, she's just reading that A is actually open. You know, we hear footsteps towards A short maybe. We can just rush in A main. And now with all this space, the spike will go down. It's going to be the full-on retake, but with Sheriffs.
But this is
Oh,
quite hard. But never mind. That's gonna be one edge down here, and you know, I just got corrected. But Polly and Ginny is just gonna make use of that turtle as well with that spray, and you know, Ginny has been cleaning up the mess here despite all of that, and yeah, I think this could settle for a timeout right now. But here and towards our scoreboards, it's still quite close, but Polly, you gotta hand it to her. She's been popping up. She's been stepping up for the team.
I don't know. I mean, right now it seems like it's really enough for Mad Army to just go in this way, let Muffin be the tip of the spear. If she falls, that's okay because Ginny's there to back her up. You got Anko as well, just kind of lurking around the map, cutting them off on rotates. Alter Ego Celestè are the ones that need to find something else. They got the guns right now, and it's a little bit tough because they want to take the fight to them. That's why they're pushing up front. This time with Iceberg actually getting the opening pick. Now Mad Army, they gotta take a second. Shooting down that recon bolt kind of alerts Canary that there is a player on the other side of this wall. The other players though, where are they? They're trying to help them out, set up for these positions and maybe a bit of a default to watch the angles. If someone does push, if someone like Canary does get a little bit greedy, Akko, maybe Polly as well will be able to help her out, but Aneri thinks better of that. She's actually falling back in towards mid.
But Baby TZ though will be getting in here in towards A site, uses all these cage triggers for opening, and the ult though is gonna come up from them. So those are a lot of intels that they can pick from. But with all of these jiggles, Iceberg is going to get that wiggle, and she takes it down for a Thiel as well for a kill of her own, and an ulti as well. But Anko uses this fact to be aggressive again with the jiggies, but Anko is going to win the dance.
Oh no!
Shut down by Ineri, but this time it's not going to work for Ginny. But post-plant position, recon ball.
She has Hunter's Fury.
Fake defuse. She's chilling it.
Yes!
Uses the Hunter's Fury.
No!
Gonna come in. Yes, it is! Oh my god!
What?
It's a win! It's a win! He was able to defuse it in time before her health depletes!
The little bunny hopping sticker at the end, the graffiti, I'm sorry. What the heck was that round? Yumi kind of knew, and they saw that she had the Hunter's Fury. It's going to take a little bit of time for her to use that thing. And in all of that, she just tanks that first beam. It was already gotten halfway. And just like that, Alter Ego Celestè ends Mad Army's winning streak. It started off with an initial piece of aggression from mid, Iceberg taking the fight to Mad Army, taking one player down, and then the retakes. Let's see if they can do that again. Alter Ego Celestè have been known to play aggressively despite being on defense.
Can't wait to break the streak. But, you know, if it works, why not? And Celestè was able to find light in towards that chaos that just the fiasco that happened earlier. And here, you know, maybe that could be one of the breaking point, and you know, to potentially just gather up the scores all the way up to 6. But then again, we do see a lot of utilities to be used for the side of Mad Army. And then not being too much aggressive here. That's going to be the dash. Is she going to be spotted out? And Eri will be taking Ginny down, who's been really, really tedious. And here, Yumi as well. They may go on full retake at this point. which could be the viable play. But Anko already watching the heads towards heaven. They should be able to double peek this, unless of course I'm stated otherwise. Iceberg will be detected by the camera. Let's see if it goes to let Polly and Neri for the trade. Iceberg as well. That is the double peek that I am looking for. With that free game, it's gonna be a 4. Watches outside this time, and that is the second point now for Celeste. You see, like, there's always good in every chaos, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's like my friend Littlefinger says, you know, from a certain show. Chaos isn't a pit, it's a ladder. And that's what they're using it right as a means of effectiveness right now. You got the Cosmic Divide that goes up, basically dividing and conquering, something that you said earlier on, Zaya. It makes sure that Mad Army will not be able to hold it post-plant. The only one left was Muffin, and she was underneath Hell, and they knew it. So air assassinations come in, and just like that, Alter Ego Celeste has flipped the tables. They flicked the switch, and now they're actually winning rounds back to back. They've got the ultimates to do it, and they've got a couple more ultimates to do it again. Mad Army needs to be a little bit more careful this time. I don't think dashing in to get the spike down is the answer anymore.
And right now, let's just see if this light doesn't die out for the side of Celeste, because here that is the dash in once more for their members, and they are able to get a hold of the site, but the spike isn't planted. Okay, they're planting it right now. Hunter's Fury going to detect Iceberg. What is this prediction? But still, it is enough to take down Muffin, and numbers advantage isn't on their side. They're going to still decide on the full retake, but Ayumi's not going to let Akko breathe, as we see. And Neri once more spots out Hell. This is where she was taken away, but this time she's not going to repeat the same mistake, as there is a double peek coming in as they secure this third round.
This is Alter Ego Celeste. They are lulling Mad Army into a false sense of security. I mean, you see all those plays happening, but it started only because they purposefully left A site alone. They didn't have a single player positioned on that spot. They were waiting towards the back. They had Iceberg's Hunter's Fury to play off of. As soon as Muffin, Anko, someone rushes into sight, they hear those footsteps, they gain an idea, an inkling of where they could be positioned, and then the Hunter's Fury strikes them to cut them apart, similar to how a Cosmic Divide would work. And then the rest of the squad pushes in together. It really splits and it cuts them away. Mad Army need to find a different answer. Just rushing into the site as a full team will not work anymore. Maybe mid this time around, and Neri does face check it. She sees quite a number of players, so she's going to back off, dashing away. This is big intel, though, for Alter Ego Celeste, and you can see that they're already starting to think, the hit's going to come towards B. Let's get positioned for this, and that is going to be Ayumi. She was prepared for that shot, now looking for even more. Tarathiel helped her out. The flashes are good. The intel is even better, and Neri gets the second, and right now looking for Polly, the last one alive. She gets taken away. It's a secret lap flawless in round number 10.
What is the secret to the sudden buff that Alter Ego Celeste is showing us? Look at how Ineri suddenly pops off from a 7k scoreline now to 15. This assertion of dominance is just really great for Celeste right now. Let's look at that replay. You did say Intel is doing great, and Neri with the beautiful 4K just to wrap up this round. They're slowly climbing it up, maybe to a potential 6-6 scoreline.
Oh my god, I would hate to see that. Imagine Mad Army playing on
Well, to me, I would like to see that, you know, all the more intensity of the game.
True, but I'm rooting for Mad Army here. Come on, they lose this, that's it. So they're trying.
Of course, I mean, we always want a very intense game, but look at this. While Tarathiel was busy on the camera, Muffin goes and takes advantage of that vulnerability, which is actually great to start it off, because, you know, I agree with you. I would like to really see Mad Army win this match, but Ineri is just taking those options away. But it's not just Ineri alone. You're seeing Ayumi, KO, still being, you know, still being aggressive as well. And with the help of the utilities that's coming in from Iceberg, Oreo, and Tarathiel, they're doing it great. And as you mentioned, they have the spike, so they have the luxury to wait for these peaks. And look at the crossfires that they have.
Crossfire is perfect. Muffin not having an updraft just means it's going to be much more difficult for her to find a shot, but Anko still actually able to take a Neri down, makes it a little bit easier. Oriofilia is the only one here to stop the spike from being retrieved right now. They've managed to pick it up, so they're running away. Muffin lingering for just a second more will allow her to delete Oriofilia. Now Iceberg rotating around towards A short takes Ginny down. We're down to the 2v1. It's a race against time. They want to rush in to get the spike down, but at the same time, yeah, they might have that seconds on the clock. Iceberg has it too. She's already in position towards market, and that means she can just surprise them right here. Muffin goes in to buy a little bit extra, but I don't know. I don't think it's going to be enough. Iceberg already sneaks past stairs. They're looking for her right now. I don't think Muffin has that many knives left. Oh, the instant fling got towards Anko. Iceberg, is she going to do it again? 1v1 now. Muffin instantly retreats back to pick up the Vandal, spots her out, buys a little bit more time, jiggling back and forth. We're going for the jiggly wigglies here, Isaiah. She's trying to do this with the last knife. She doesn't want to let her get the defuse. No! Goes in for the peek. And Iceberg just sprays her down, and along with that, she gets the defuse.
That is the better play. She really called it out beautifully here, and I would love to see that replay. I want to highlight something here. So we do see how Muffin took advantage of a vulnerable Turkiel. Everything that's just really escalated from here, but right now, Muffin, they were able to go up until B, and Iceberg just getting Ginny down. Look at this, right? She uses the Radianite box to protect herself, and because these jiggle peaks, you know, are being tedious, she decides to push it, and that was the better play. It went into her favor. And Quack, I saw you there, I heard you there. You were running out of breath, but I didn't want to cut you off because of that intensity.
That's exactly what these matches are all about. So intense right now. 6-5, and Alter Ego Celestè stand a chance at turning this into a full-on draw towards the end of the first half. Iceberg is trying to anchor it down right now, and she's good for the triple spray, plus a Yumi the Terminator from the back, just ensuring that Mad Army will not be able to gain any form of control. This is not good. 6-6 right now, and how are Mad Army going to perform on the defense?
At this point, that last round was quite telegraphed. So let's go back here. So it's already known that Iceberg knows that they are all into white side. And look at the spray transfer. That's going to be one. Yumi to protect her as well. And that synergy. Really, we're actually starting to see the reasons why Alter Ego Celestè are the queens.
6 rounds in a row. Alter Ego Celestè come back in and claim 6 rounds back. This is their throne. They're going to defend it. No way you're going to steal my crown, my tiara, whatever it is. They want it. And right now, they're on the attack. They're playing a little bit more tactically, and I love watching this. It's the Ayumi and Neri duo. They support each other at all times. Right now, you got Iceberg getting some additional intel along with that owl drone. Polly comes in from the sides to deny it. Muffin will do a great job, and they ensure that you will not be able to walk in that easily. You shall not pass. Neri's the last one alive now, and they're hunting her down, but she goes in for a couple more headshots. She's got some spells of her own. Accio Bolt or something. It's a second headshot.
That's gonna be one, but wow. Finally, Ginny to go for that cleanup 7-6. And Mad Army was able to get back on track, but they need to be consistent here as the round progresses. But let's look at that replay. So really, Muffin starting it really good, as well as Polly getting a kill of her own. I think they were a bit crowded in towards A main here, and it didn't really give them the time to escape. But this was a nice try for Neri, to say the least. But of course, that's where the double peak capabilities come up and beyond. You know, it works well, especially if timed properly. But right now, Quack, what do you think is the play so that Mad Army can be consistent and really keep this at least single point gap to their hands?
I mean, this is good. You know, they've gotten the pistol round, and they're ensuring that they keep that lead, because you see the Bulldog coming in on Polly's side. Even if they lose a couple of players, if they can hold on to that Bulldog towards the next round, the bonus round, it's a rifle. Rifles against rifles will do better. And of course, right now, Alter Ego Celeste going for a bit of a force buy on their own. It's gonna work wonders, right? They have a little bit more firepower right now. They have the positioning as well, just to gain all this intel and all of the utilities to block off Alter Ego Celeste. The dark covers are good at stalling, and I don't think AEC want to burst past that. They're trying to find a frag or two, but it takes time when they stay in positions like these. At the same time, you see Iceberg moving around on the map. She's trying to maybe catch a wandering player somewhere, but no, she might just get spotted out by Ginny at some point. And right now, Polly doing her best job. They clean things up and they make it a secret lab. Shiny, flawless, Zaya.
Indeed, and that was really nice. You can really say that that was a clean defend for the side of Mad Army here, and there goes timeout that is needed. I think this is the Celeste call because
Should
they should be supposed to be. But let's look at the replay real quick. I think this is just a quick cleanup for Polly. But right now, the fact that Mad Army is slowly trying to predict or where they're going to place themselves at, and really having that specific counter to it is one of the great things. So with Ayumi being the only flasher for the team, and I think for the side of Alter Ego Celeste, they've been winning their rounds here in towards Ascent, so maybe they can go back to being proactive, to say the least, in towards the map by being mobile and may try to utilize mid, because if you notice, not from the first half they didn't really utilize it as much, you know. So maybe if they use that to their advantage for the side of Alter Ego, maybe it could work wonders for them, but not for this round because they still don't have the weapon to really, aid them with that.
Yeah, I think you're onto something. Mid truly hasn't really been well fortified by Mad Army. Alter Ego Celeste, once they go in with the full buys, they could actually exploit that. Although you might consider Ginny was the only one to kind of rotate around back and forth, so she could actually stay in that spot. But right now, it's going to be an all-out firefight towards A main. Aneri was just looking for the ult or pickup, so now she's got the Blade Storm. They're watching the angle, they're backing off, they're trying to work their way around the map. But in all of this, Mad Army will not stay as sitting ducks. Muffin is trying to move around to get a peek or a glimpse at whatever's happening towards mid. If she can see someone, they might be able to tell whether or not there's a push towards B. But unfortunately, there was a smoke. She couldn't see anything. They kind of have to guess a little bit back and forth right now.
Take note that Muffin 2 is only at 5 HP, so if they are able to take her down, that could be a big thing. But that's gonna be... that is actually a good deny away from the potential blind that could be in the hands of Polly. But look at this quick peek, and that's a jiggle peek once again. Let's see, and then uses the Shrouded Sep. Is Aneri gonna defend this though? No, because he's at an off angle here. But the Ayumi trade is gonna happen. But was able to take down Ginny. Both of them are quite on the low, only to herself. Let's see if it's one more. Indeed, as she gets that kill, Ayumi will go for the plant. Ginny, will she push this? She is low. She is 46 HP. Uses the shock dart, as you have said it. Uses the suppress. Baby TZ for the trade. Ayumi with the 3K, but Baby TZ getting the higher ground is able to secure this round.
Thankfully, if not for Baby TZ to aid Genie out in that duel, I could have gone south real quick. Oh my gosh, Alter Ego Celeste are still terrifying. Even off of a bit of a save, they are able to take out so many members from the Mad Army. But since this was the round after the bonus, it's okay. Mad Army dying here is perfectly fine. I mean, call me out if you want cash or buys, whatever. I want to see them win at least one map. They will be able to buy back fully into the next. So even though Baby TZ was the last one left alive, It's A-okay, but you gotta consider how Ayumi's been playing so far. I mean, the way that she approaches things along with Aneri. I mean, Aneri leading the charge as the entry fragger. If she can find opening pigs, good. If she gets denied, that's okay. Ayumi's there to back her up, plus the 0 point. The suppression blade is actually not just getting info, it's ensuring that Mad Army will not be able to stall anymore. And just like that, they managed to push in towards B site. Null command was used as well.
Is B site the key to Alter Ego Celeste right now? But let's see how the retake capabilities of Mad Army goes, because look at them, they're placed in towards market. The camera, I assume it could have spotted out Muffin in the process, so maybe a double peek strategy could do wonders for Mad Army. But look at this, Anko gets one. There's gonna be another looking at the code house right here. Muffin into, oh, actually there are raids across the floor. The turret yell, making a 2. Is it a 3? Ayumi's gonna go for the clinch. Whoa.
I mean, whether or not it's clean, it's dirty, it's just Ayumi. I mean, she's staying on the site, right? Locking it down. They already had the post plant. Anytime someone tried to push up, you got Iceberg to sneak up from B main to cut off the remainder of the squad from collapsing towards Boathouse. And when you have something like that, your attention is diverted. They are suddenly stunned and oh my god, there's a player behind us. It just makes it that much more difficult for Mad Army to retake. But you got Muffin right now, and she's got the double Bucky! Iceberg makes it an instant trade, and she's down to 7 HP.
That is a very beautiful deny of push coming in from Muffin there. Although it was just Bucky, it worked wonders. It was used pretty well, but right now they were able to detect Ginny in towards B, so they are crawling their way towards A. No, they still have the gun advantage, but up to what extent though? Let's see.
That's a good question, right? To what extent?
The flank
they might
though.
have the guns, but yeah, they don't have intel. And what Mad Army has is positioning, because they've cleared out mid, they've cleared out B, they know it's an A hit. Anko is allowed to push up front. Unfortunately gets spotted a little bit early, getting kind of greedy. She wanted to pick up the Vandal. So now, with that flanker gone, it kind of allows for Alter Ego Celeste to run around the map a little bit. Thing you gotta consider is, though, Baby TZ up towards this one spot. She can actually stop them for a while. 30 seconds remaining. If she can stall them a little bit longer, that would be good, but unfortunately the shot was a body one. And that allows for Tarathio to collect the head, as well as information from the Neural Theft. They're going back towards A, seeing that the positions were headed towards B, plus the From the Shadows committed. Oh no! We just got jabaited, Zaya!
The fake rotates from Alter Ego Celeste. They're playing by the map. They're finding loopholes to the rules. Let's see if they can be the official rule breakers here. Ginny will be using the drone for some intel, but not going to spot out anyone just yet because vision is denied. Take note, however, that they are low on HP. Retake is doable unless stated by the positions. Otherwise, I'm going to put from the back. They get through. But to take that 3K for Oreophilia, 8 to 9 right now. Quack! What is happening?
What is happening is mistakes. Mistakes, I'm so sad. That was rather unfortunate from the side of Mad Army. Everything was going well up to this point in this replay right here. Anko, I love her. She's incredibly sharp. She's cracked. But sometimes she gets a little bit greedy, a little bit too adventurous. She separated from her team, wanted to pick up the Vandal. They shut her down. And then Baby TZ, of course, trying to slow them down on the rotations. And then they just went back straight to A off of Tarathio's frags. And then you got players just jumping off of A Heaven like that. You don't check Hell? Are you serious? No! Thankfully, they're still one round ahead. They've got the buys. They've got Muffin on an operator right now. They need to stand their claim right here. They cannot afford to lose this round.
Definitely, because this is the last, potentially the last game that they can, really force out a game number 4. So they need to create wonders here. And right now, Muffin with the, if I'm not mistaken, it's an op. She needs to be very careful because look at this B coming in from Neri, and Ayumi with the kill of her own dwindles it all down to 3. It's gonna be a 2 right now as Neri and Iceberg is insane. Playing to the music, baby TZ, kinda get that off tempo there, but she's too far, and it's a free take now for Celeste for this A site, and look at how they are guarding every entry that she could possibly do.
I don't know what she could do. The spike is still ticking. Even if she moves up front, she's got so many different layers of protection to deal against. It's just a Yumi having a little bit of fun.
Hard.
She loves playing this. She loves the Mad Army girls because she's getting the wins right now. Baby TZ opting for the exit fracture save instead, but then Inari getting a little bit curious. Thought of pushing up front. Doesn't spot anyone yet. Baby TZ still just hiding in her spot. This was a round gone horribly wrong, all thanks to the mad skills, not from Mad Army, but from Inari as well as Ayumi and everyone else on Alter Ego Celeste. The way that they just push up front of short. I think they kind of knew that she was in that spot, but thankfully just ran out of time to push her down. So here we are, Zaya, 9-9. This could go either way, but I don't think it's going to go Mad Army Swage just for now. Not yet, because I don't think they have the best economy this round.
It's safe to say that it could be another Celeste win here, because as you mentioned, weaponry not in the best of hands in towards Mad Army, but unless Muffin can really utilize the Blade Storms, at least take a 2 or 3 off the pack, that could be difference. But right now, look at how they're positioned. Taratiel is waiting, is expecting for this aggression to happen. Muffin down to a half, forces her to go back. That's into look at from the high mid. They're gonna go and take 1. Muffin gets some kind of damages here, but she's stuck in the corner. She's pinned down and onto the other side. So this is forcing the issue, but maybe TZ still gets a 2K, trying to protect her comrade, who is quite injured in towards squares. But is it enough? It is enough as Muffin still gets Iceberg down, who's trying to push her from the sides. 2 versus 2. Make 3 rather, but on the low, Muffin and baby TZ still in towards mid. But this could be an opportunity for them to take A, potentially for post plant, but I think Inari is just gonna gather some information in the process.
Off a play like that, that means 2 things. One, like you said, it's information for Inari. She calls out that A side is clear. They will be able to deliver the spike and get it planted basically for free. Left. Second thing is, Mad Army is wondering so much about the positions. Thankfully, Muffin was pushing up towards A main, and she guessed it right. She hears the spike being planted. But now they need Ginny to help them out in this, because if they don't get any further intel, it's just going to be tough for them to figure out where the Alter Ego Celeste players are hiding. They have no idea that Neri's in this corner right now, and baby TZ will lose her life. Ayumi buying extra time, flashes, and Neri just comes out from the top. It's a triple spray from a Neri, the Canary, just from the top of that little arboreal tree. This is ridiculous.
Yumi with the jumpies into her tail, that's cute. But you know what? It worked well because it gave her intel. And that is just amazing fourth side of Celeste. So we're gonna see here, they kind of like tried to dice the fights here. It kind of worked well for Mad Army, but then again, low HP is a factor to be reckoned here. And they just took advantage of that. And Inari, with both of them having that information, which is crucial on their part, it made wonders for them. So now dividing the site. We did mention earlier that although it is a divide and conquered, Mad Army still found the way. Let's see if it's still going to be the same case scenario, because look at all the entries or the entry spots that they can go. It's blocked out and they need to pass over if they want to make things work. But they're going to be greeted by a lot of members of Celeste for them to do that.
Well, they're certainly going to kind of greet them back as well with open arms. Polly getting the first one. Just a nice little hug to start things off. And then Ginny. That's the counter Hunter's Fury coming in from Iceberg, though. It does kind of hit her up a little bit. Doesn't matter because they're just going to push up front, knowing that they have these the advantage. They're seizing the initiative to overwhelm and overrun any kind of defensive position that Alter Ego Celeste has set up. So, back into the fray we go, 10-10.
This is, I think, the closest one, at least for this grand finals series. Like it's already shown. Like we did mention in towards the stats earlier, that both of these teams won all of their Ascent games, and it's showing. It's really being laid down upon us, and this is just interesting for both sides of the teams. I do want to I do wonder, since Celeste is in the attacker side, they are on full aggression. Maybe, like, you know, playing around the map, it could be their play here, but I think they're kind of like listening, because look, they're utilizing catwalk. But is it enough though? Look at that one-way smoke.
Yeah, it's going to be enough. They've got the Astra Stars just to block off Polly. What Polly can do, though, is to just listen for footsteps. If she hears anything, maybe the Owl Drone, she could have sprayed down. Yeah, she's going to get that. Oh my god, but even with the paranoia, Neri's just going to walk up front and take Anko away? What is this? She gets shut down by Muffin, thankfully, and then the dash off. They're going to try to stop this push from coming in, and it's good for now, the firing range. But unfortunately for them, Oreophilia is good for a double spray as well. This turns it into 1v2, and Iceberg coming up from the top of tree. Baby DZ doesn't know this. It's all too late. We've got turned into a 1v1.
But Ginny still depicts that she could be in the heaven here, but the headshot is still in the hands of Iceberg, and that is going to be a beautiful Nano Leaf clutch moment by Celeste. These teams are really pumping it up, you know?
Just one head. One head is all Iceberg needs. Are you kidding me? She comes out all the way from the top. Ginny had that angle. But just off of that one tiny little pixel, she drags her and takes her down under the sea, down where it's wetter. She's going to take it from me. 10-11, Alter Ego Celeste, one more round. They turn this into match point, and that is possibly the difference between first and second place. First place is 10,000 US dollars. Second is minus 5,000. So, Mad Army, it's now or never. They are on a half by a force. I don't know what it is, but they need this round. They're going in for this intel. Muffin doesn't know if she should push up front, though. They hear all the footsteps towards mid. It's going to be Baby TZ anchoring down B. She has to find a crucial frag as she pushes up front, gets the first one, backs off. This is good, Zaya.
This could be good, but she was tagged by a bit, so they do know that she is in towards sight. But will they commit to this, though? I guess they will. Look at how Inari still goes in. Ginny, a bit of a whip still happens. Baby TZ to secure her, to yell for the 3, but she is the only member remaining, but is still winning the fights. 1v3 clutch, perhaps, but no, it's gonna be shut down by Muppet with the Blade Storm. But take note, it was used. She used that Blade Storm, so maybe she won't be able to use any for the succeeding ones unless she could get the heads down. But 11-11, this is just very intense for both sides of the team. They're making themselves like a part of their world.
Oh my god, I know. This is a part of their world. You got all these thingamabobs. They've got plenty of everything that they can possibly have at their disposal. And right now, the one thing that Mad Army has got going for them is the fact that Anko has her ultimate, the Empress. Baby TZ has her Neuro Theft up as well. If they can actually utilize that somehow, maybe even in a retake, maybe to stall, they could actually do something. It's going to be Polly dancing back and forth. The bait and switch is good! Muffin was in the corner, but it wasn't even necessary. And now she gets information in towards mid. Oreophilia's gone, and it's going to be the Secret Lab flawless Alter Ego Celeste this time around. Not today. You won't be able to push in.
Would you like some barbecue? Because Polly is on cue, and that is just beautifully done by them, really denying entry from Cubby, which was really the best play. And just like that, they were able to turn the tides around here, to say the least, for the side of Mad Army. But take note, the overtime capabilities can still happen, and this time they're gunning in towards B. They take note, they have weaponry as well for Celeste. But can they use this to its maximum capabilities, though? We'll just have to see.
We shall have to see. Anko, she's getting a little bit anxious. She knows that they're on the other side of that wall. She doesn't quite have the angle. Instead, it's going to be Ginny who has the clear line of sight. But if she does walk out in the open, she could lose her head so easily. We do have a little bit of a from the shadows from Polly just to spook him a little bit. It is Halloween after all, so maybe they got a little bit scared. They're actually rotating around Zaya.
Indeed, but right now they're going in towards a site where it's heavily guarded by the members of Mad Army. But again, if they want to create a game number 4, this could be the play. But Ayumi is already detected. This could be a chance for Muffin to push, but with Double Tail denies that fact. Presence is going to be detected with the suppress. They can march in towards A, but is it enough for Ginny and Mad Army? As they are going to go in here, look at that stuff, isn't it? The spike is not yet down, but with this heads down, Orioville takes a 2, but Muffin will clean it up. 13-11, we're going to go to game number 4.
Muffin! Oh my god. Thankfully, these girls they've finally done it. They've taken a map off of Alter Ego Celeste. It took Zaya spitting so many bars, so many rhymes to finally have Mad Army getting all that intel, just kind of playing off of whatever Alter Ego Celeste was trying to throw at them, whether it was the suppression blade. They waited out that time. They stood in towards positions, jiggling, wiggling back and forth, just kind of stopping Alter Ego Celeste's forward momentum. And because they weren't able to get the frags, they kind of doubted themselves. They pumped the brakes in towards spots like Garden, A main, and in all that time, it allows for a player like Polly shoot out a Paranoia and basically shut them down completely.
Shutting them down, but we are still gonna go on to game number 4, Crack. Our journey as casters isn't over yet, and we will return for that game number 4.
Welcome back to the Analyst Desk with the VCT Game Changers FSL Elite, brought to you by Intel, Secret Lab, Nanoleaf, as well as official media partner Yahoo. Mad Army backs up against the wall, finally putting up a good fight with that 13-11 on Ascent. Break it down for me, guys.
Well, this is a map where...
Go ahead.
Don't it?
Because last time... Okay, so I'm just gonna say that Ascent is really a map where individual skill really shines through. So, well, initially we thought that it was shown in the map of Split, and Ascent, as wide as it can be, it's quite bigger in the middle. So that's really where Mad Army did go into play for the sites, especially in that A site wherein they would really get into these crossfires between Anko and Muffin, and as well as the rest of the team members. I think the skill and also the quick-witted thinking of the team of Mad Army was shown in the early rounds, especially for the first 6 rounds.
Yeah, you can see the tear towards the end of the game there as well, where, I mean, Alter Ego, they looked like they had figured out a way to get past this defense from Mad Army, and then suddenly they just go on an absolute tear. And that was a really good recovery from Mad Army. It does come down to Muffin. You can see the very top of the scoreboard, 23 kills, and that is because right place, right time in a lot of those situations where they absolutely needed that individual performance to show up. And getting that kill onto the plant, actually before the plant could even go down, they actually narrowed it down to a 2 versus 2, and that 2 versus 2 separates an entire series being 3-0 and this 4th map coming through.
And go ahead.
Sorry. The first rounds, a lot of losses for AE Celeste, and they realized that they were losing the hold, so that they just decided to really resort to these retakes, especially with Ayumi as that initiator. He really did play well in terms of the retakes, and what they did decide to go for is to take out the impact fraggers first, and then get into that whole brawl of a fight in terms of gaining control of that site.
Yeah, and we were talking in the panel segment before this map number 3 about how if Mad Army want to win today, they're going to have to dig deep to try and force this to a series because they have such an uphill battle ahead of them. We weren't sure if they were even going to be able to take that map number 3 on Ascent, but now that we've reached this point, now that they've managed to turn things to a 2-1, it only gets harder from here on out because map number 4, we've got Bind, and this is such a good map for AEC as well. So what do we think about this?
I mean, Ascent, that was an either-or way for Mad Army and Alter Ego Celeste because they're both amazing teams on it, and that did, again, it came down to that individual performance, but this time around, that individual performance absolutely shined through, and Alter Ego Celeste, that teamwork, it was also heavily bolstered by the individual skill of their players as well. But we didn't see that huge performance from individuals this time. We saw Neri, saw Ayumi. This time, not as much. It really was Mad Army that came out on top. But now Alter Ego going to their map pick, and this is one that we've seen them dominate every other team on. It's not an easy map to play against Alter Ego on because it's a very small map, and they know every corner. They know to check every corner and how to isolate every single fight. And again, the pressure is, I mean, the entire time, all day long, the pressure has been on Mad Army, and they don't get to relinquish any of that pressure. They go straight into another meat grinder here, and they need to come out hopefully unscathed and give us that 5th map that Donut predicted.
Yeah, and Donut, I mean, we're just talking in the pre-grand final panel as well when you're predicting that this was going to be a 2-2. You're saying that the scoreline going into Haven, you thought that it would be 2-2, and you thought Bind would be a big point of contention for these teams. So what do we think?
Well, in terms of really Alter Ego playing in the map of Ascent, what I noticed is they really like to bait out all of the utilities of the team of Mad Army and at the very start of the round. And this is where it all boils down to the smarts. If Mad Army don't really play well against the utilities that Alter Ego will be really throwing in, and it's gonna be harder in terms of that retake for Mad Army. Same goes to show for Alter Ego Celeste. Because Bind, as such a small of a map as it is, there are a lot of entry points. So if you don't necessarily utilize all of maybe Dark Covers from Omen or maybe that Nebula from Astra, whatever controller that we will be seeing today, then it's going to be quite tricky for Bind. And as mentioned before during the panel and our offline discussions, this is really a map wherein Alter Ego is out to play. We've seen them perform against RTS yesterday, and you know how they were able to try and isolate the fights through the utilities, just stellar. So I feel like it should be all about the team play, not the individual skills, as Mad Army did show us in the map of Ascent.
Yeah, and talking about that team play also is the next point that I wanted us to touch on really quickly as well, because we've been saying about how Bind is that small map. AE Celeste are so good on this. They've been playing together as a team for years by now. They've got that communication and the teamwork down. But looking over at Mad Army, how do we feel their teamwork and their strategies have been in the couple earlier matches that we've seen today? I mean, Icebox and Split just didn't look like they were on the same page all of the time. What do we think?
I think they're going to need the double controller lineup on here on Bind, just because you're absolutely right. The team play doesn't really answer for each other. It really is down to the individual fight. So how do you play to your strengths? You get 2 controllers, and then you isolate as many fights as possible with that utility, so that you've only got your players looking at individual players, and you can't have those answers coming back from each way. That way, you stand the best chance of winning those fights and maybe doubling up on those kills as well. And then you don't have to worry about your teammates not being able to answer for you because that chemistry hasn't developed properly yet.
All right, well, our questions about Agent Select are going to be answered very shortly. We are here in the Agent Select lobby. Alter Ego Celeste this time around actually taking a bit of time before they lock in, but it looks like it will be the raise for Ineri this time around. Should be a treat to watch. Ginny once again with the Sky Hover. Would be a good agent pickup on Bind, but anything else jumps up for you guys?
Look
Well,
at that
they're not
agent
getting
pick.
on that double controller as Jace mentioned. It's going to be a double initiator instead for Mad Army.
You love to see it. You love to see it.
Oh.
Okay.
I thought there were these clutch moments wherein they tried to change the agents at the last minute. So, but that's not it. It's going to be a double initiator setup for the team of Mad Army. So maybe this is where they could shine, because the team of AE they did play the double controller setup previously. So I feel like this is a counter to that. But this is the first time that they're seeing their own agents against each other.
All right, well, here to bless all of our ears once again are Zaya as well as Quack. Lady and gentlemen, all ears on you.
Thank you so much again, Ray Retro Jaeger, as well as Donut. We are here to bless your ears. Hey, I'm Quack, and along with me is Zaya Aura. But of course, you know, look, if you had one shot or one opportunity to seize everything you ever wanted, would you just capture it or would you let it slip? You know, I think Mad Army are here to capture it. This is their last chance at pushing us into map number 5. Is it going to be possible, Zaya?
As we have been captured by the panelists as well, it could be possible, but the stakes are quite high because as we've seen in towards the stats, and also the panelists have been talking about this, in terms of numbers, number of times that they have been playing Bind, Celeste has that experience. And if I recall it correctly, Mad Army only played with this map once. So we'll just have to see how things are going to go from here. That's a very early flash coming in. Muffin in for that opening, only for Oreo to basically trade it off. So it's still an equal ground. There's that certain equilibrium in terms of numbers of agents. But still, Ayumi here getting the orbs as essential as possible. We do see a drone to detect anyone in sight, but without that smoke, it kind of denies vision into Ginny, who's under window here. That's gonna be swarm grenades in towards backside. They're waiting for the right moment to strike. Let's just see if they can look at this angle, because it's getting quite interesting.
Ginny's got another hawk. She could just chuck one out and get some intel. She's thinking a little bit better at that for the time being. I mean, you saw those like nanoswarms. There's a potential for that and more. But the fact that
now, though, we do see an Ayumi taking down a Polly, but that flash is going to be beneficial for Ginny. Is it going to be a spray transfer, though? Yes, indeed. Isolating the fights. That's going to be 3K for Ginny. And Baby TZ to end it all up. That is a beautiful win for the side of Mad Army.
Yeah, what a way to start things off, right? They were trying to go a little bit steadily and carefully, but this is what I love about Mad Army right now. Off of the losses from yesterday, they were playing the upper bracket final. First map of that series was also Bind. It went 13-8 in favor of Alter Ego Celeste. Mad Army was playing one of their old tried and true agent compositions, Muffin on Jet. This time, she's on Raze. And Raze on this map is really strong at fighting for map control. Your boombot can clear out so much because of the way these corridors are laid out. So she's able to deploy it real quick towards places like Hookah, and then you got Ginny with Sky as well. The guiding light is actually able to disable whatever Alter Ego Celeste tries to throw at them, and this time around, it's going to be the controllers doing the work, plus the Spectres. They know where the Alter Ego Celeste players are trying to push from.
Utility usage here for the side of Mad Army. They're not hesitant to expend all of these if it's into their favor, because it takes one angle as well with better weaponry for the Sheriff trade. Really doing a good job. The spike hasn't been planted, but they destroy the wall. That's going to be a flash. Not going to detect anyone from showers though. But Ginny still gets the upper hand, taking Terrafield down. Is this going to be a right click? Beautifully done by Ginny for the trade, and that alone again is going to be the second point for Mad Army.
This bodes well for the Mad Army girls. I mean, it doesn't matter if you have a Sage. With this new agent composition that they've got, they're actually able to put it to them. The fact that they have bits of map control, locking out Hookah, locking out B Long, at the same time, it's just Baby TZ anchoring and getting extra bits of information, stalling for as long as possible. No chance Alter Ego Celeste pulls off any of those Yahoo Thrifty shenanigans. Now they're gonna have to actually play this for real. They need the full buys in order to find wins.
BYB fam.
Of course, because they've already been saving for the first 2 rounds, so it's pretty normal that you buy on the third one. So for the side of Mad Army, it could be a bonus because this is the previous guns that they've had into round number 2. So at least they tried to be aggressive, right, in towards the first 2 rounds. So maybe a little bit of a slow push can come from them here, but it's gonna be maybe easy to be detected by that drone. So here we see another A take for the side of them, for the side of Celeste. Notice how they kind of delayed the push or the spike down from them. So yeah, this is post-plan situation. We did see Ayumi is going to be detected. Toxin to pin them down towards Lance. It could be a portal of entry for Mad Army, but they didn't utilize it. So right now, they're just waiting for the peaks, waiting for the angles. That's going to be a knockdown, but is it? Sure, the teammate that's really difficult, but look at this. There are in lamps right now. A lot of items across the floor. Are you feeling with the 1? Ayumi for the 2. On for the sheriff kill. Is it enough to go and defuse the spike? Polly with the 2K, but Iceberg is getting short. Gonna deny it, but Polly with a right click. Do they have time? Yes, they do.
Yeah, they definitely do. I mean, this was incredible plays. Wait, I'm biting my tongue. Okay, thankfully, Ginny's gonna save the day. Oh my god, I hate those moments. You love to see how they just rush in like that, playing off of the fact that Ginny has already earned her Seekers in the earlier part of those 2 rounds. She had 5, 0, and 2. Now it's up to 6. And off of initiating a fight like that, they can actually just push up front, gain favorable duels, and coming down to it, I think Alter Ego Celeste were just making some minor mistakes, getting caught out with utility, and trying to play post-plant, but the fact that they didn't really have that much room to work with, they were still stuck on site itself. You know, they were basically boxed in, and right now, it's going to be Alter Ego Celeste again trying to fight through this with their sheriffs. Paint shells go in, and Muffin tries to flush out, but unfortunately she gets shut down. Oh my god, Aneri, it's going to be another double kill. 3 players instantly gone. What is going to happen next?
You should run.
Weaponry, more like it's me and Neri as she takes that double with the sheriff, and it's not really you know, an issue of that kind of play. But right now we do see the lockdown to be placed. Anko with that beautiful lineup all up above that tower. Is it gonna be enough though? Is it gonna come into light? But look at this, a slow peek from Iceberg. Anko still gets the kill, pretty interestingly. But Aneri will go and have that revenge with his fallen comrade. Ayumi with a slow peek knows that Anko is in garden, and that's gonna be a teleport away. But I don't think they have enough of a distance to kill her, unless of course, you know, they spot her out here.
They just might. They're trying to rush over. They want to take
They're
that rifle away. My god.
The bloodlust. The bloodlust is so real.
You can feel it. You can smell it. They've already spotted her out. And unfortunately, she's just isolated on this one little island. The Yahoo Thrifty from Alter Ego Celeste actually effective because of Aneri's sheriff kills.
Indeed, like Aneri has been really popping off, and you don't really see her, you know, like tone down or like take a break. Even her herself, she's not given a breather for both her enemies and even for her teammates. And the good thing about it is that if the way that Aneri's aggressive plays goes, the members of Celeste can cope up, can follow up, and that's where you see the beautiful synergy that comes from them.
It's really lovely synergy, but this time around they might have to use a little bit more than that, because this is a similar setup that as compared to what we saw in the first round. But oh my god, just the wall bang, instant tracking as she tries to cross over. One player instantly gone, and that was Muffin. So it's a little bit more difficult for Mad Army to stall right now, unless Ginny catches them with her Hawk. She's hiding underneath Hookah, sends it out to get some further information. Unfortunately, this time I don't think it worked out too nicely, so she thought it was clear, jumps up front, gets deleted. The rest of the squad trying their best to stall. It's not going to work out. Anko, last one left alive, pushing up from Hookah. Instant kill. They knew what was going to happen.
And this may be the start of the streak that Celeste has been, you know, really eyeing out for, because you have to take note, this is their playground. They are on attackers, so you know how it goes when they are on this side of the map. And look at this, it was really a nice try for Ginny and the others to really contain it, but the aggression was just really at a speed raid for them to catch up. So what do you think Quack can, at least for the side of Celeste, can do so that they can tie it up on the points and maybe just get the odds in their favor?
Rinse and repeat, honestly. If they can do the same thing again, going at that rate of speed like you were talking about, they could just burst down the site. And because Mad Army doesn't have much but Sheriffs, it's easy for them to overrun their positions. Here they go, they're rushing in. It's going to be Polly that starts things off, but then instantly the trades come back in. Ayumi and Tarathiel getting one for each of them on their own. Two remaining, Baby TZ and Akko coming in from the most predictable spot. Of course it's going to be Spawn. I don't think there's much that they can do at this point. You even have a star just to make it a little bit more difficult. Not even necessary. Tarathiel is just going to peek up front. A little bit of a burst. It's going to be a headshot, and then that leaves Akko.
Yes, but destroying that turret also means telegraphing or like giving away your position. Yeah, so right now they are on the hunt. That is Bloodlust. Their shot darts all around. Sheriff attempt here, and Ayumi's gonna win the fight. 3-3 right now for the for both sides of the team, and Celeste really popping off right now. Let's see the scoreboard real quick. Still near and towards some KDA here. Jenny getting those 7 kills off the bat, but let's look at that replay. Polly goes for the Sheriff kill, but Ayumi and Tarathiel gets kills of their own. With that pixel peek Tarathiel, you know, it doesn't need that double peek. And in towards the Sheriff fight, Ayumi just seals the deal.
Just seals the deal. Oh my god, Zaya, when are you gonna drop your rap album?
I don't know, you know, depends.
you guys gotta follow her on Facebook, the Twitter, social media everywhere, because she's gonna drop a sweet, hot track soon at some point. You know, she's dropping them lines, but right now it's Aneri dropping them nades. It's all over the A sites, and all of a sudden, Baby TZ has to play in a safe spot behind these Radiant crates. Maybe she gets a little bit of cover. They want to stop the spike plant from going through, but unfortunately Akko peeking alone won't do the trick. So maybe just stalling it for another second. It's going to be, oh god, Polly who sends out the Hunter's Fury, but it's not enough. They just take the teleporter. They go straight to B, and Polly trying to beat them to the clock. Can she actually make it in time? No, it's not enough.
It's not enough, but let's see if the members of Celeste are going to, you know, create some plays with this. So not going to be detected by the drone, but that is still information. They're still seen. So right now that's going to be a flash in towards Tin Can. They're going to go on full aggression. Another flash coming in. Is it enough? Ayumi takes one. Muffin for another, but that's going to be 3K for Aurelio. Pops off. That's going to be the 4th point for Celeste here. Imagine, despite being pushed in towards Tin Cans right there and towards site, they managed to pull through with these isolation, with these jiggle peaks. It's just how Alter Ego just alters the reality of this game.
I like that. Alters the reality.
I like that too, not gonna lie.
They certainly are altering reality. I mean, a little bit of some Doctor Strange magic here. They turned things around. It seemed like they weren't able to get the spike down. They lost a couple of teammates, but then they just rotate through the teleporter right quick. Right now, they're trying to gain control over Hookah and maybe go in with a B-split push again. The only one to stop them, though, is going to be Muffin. She gets a little bit over-aggressive, jumping over! Gets spotted out by Aneri. Instant track to her head as well. It's going to be difficult from here on out because the only ones left are going to be the ones with the Sheriffs and the Stingers from the back of the site. They push up front into Octagon, and Iceberg and Tarathiel just shred them up. And then they rotate around back.
And again, this is where they play along the map, but are they gonna see Baby TZ here though? Like, look at the peak, but is it gonna be replied by Oriofield and Iceberg just to clean it up on the other side of the spectrum? You know, they're just beating it into the drums here as they slowly create harmony in towards these rounds. What do you think is the better play for Mad Army here? Let's look at the quick replay, shall we?
I mean, just take a look at this, right? My favorite thing in this entire round was the fact that Iceberg was left to lurk on the teleporter around B site. They made the quick decision. They got the frags that they needed, and it's like, all right, we know that we baited the rotations from Mad Army towards the B site. A is probably open. Let's head over instead. And then Iceberg just lurking in that one corner. As soon as Anko tried to make a move, she got killed. Here we go, next round. This time, Alter Ego Celeste trying to play off a little bit slower. We do have the Viper's Pit that kind of makes a big obstacle. So they won't really have that option anymore unless they take that down. I think that's what they want to do. Maybe use Iceberg's shock darts or something. They've already spent quite a bit to gain control over Hookah as well as B long, maybe baiting a couple of rotates out. You do have a 3-stack from Mad Army on B. So if they can actually overrun Anko right now, they should be able to take A. There we go.
Yes, as you've said it, Anko takes one down. I
Whoa!
Baby TZ, make it a 2, make it a 3. What? It makes me question again, where's the double peak? But then again, or you really into what showers, and that's a beautiful cleanup for Baby TZ with the 4K.
This is madness! Baby TZ! Just hiding from the top of A Heaven. You said what? I was saying what so many times in my head as well. Just off of Anko's information, she knew that they were headed towards A short, so crosshair placement was pristine. They move up front, instant burst, instant taps.
Right?
You know, just tip tap, a couple of taps, you take the win.
It's as if she was tap dancing to the beat of her guns. Bam, bam. And that just made it all the more better for Mad Army. You did say it was madness, and that's why their name states it. But is it enough, though? Can they really go berserk here? Let's take note. Every round, every game is the last, could be potentially the last for the side of Mad Army, unless otherwise, you know, really countered out or really stated. But here, using the Celestial ult coming in from, if I don't say that was Baby TZ, but Oreo spots out the gun, takes the kill, beautifully done.
So good. Weakens the defense of Mad Army. Might even bait out a couple more rotates and then take that teleporter through again, because this is Bind after all. They have that option, but the one thing Mad Army has got going for them is the fact that Ginny is posted up around Fountain. She can set up for a big flank, but here they go, bursting into sight. If her teammates will not be able to stop the push from happening, it's going to be tougher for the flank to happen. She managed to get one, but that is big information, and right now the lockdown clears out the site along with Oreophilia as well as Iceberg. It's going to be a 1v2. She's thinking better. Maybe they rotate it? No, it's a little bit of overthink. So she's gonna, actually, maybe go for exit frags right now.
True.
Oh, wait, no, she's taking a long way around?
Oh, yeah, but they have to take note of the
they did
the position. Look at Tinny, she's in a favorable position. Big brain moment from the behind. Sees it, but whips it, and Iceberg kills it. And that's a 6-4 scoreline.
I need to
Celeste is on fire.
They've got the power of Celestials or something. I want to see that first-person POV because that was one hell of a 180 flick from Iceberg. As soon as Ginny made a single step, the first shot kind of gave her a position, and unfortunately it was one that whiffed. Alerted them. The flick was just so fast.
You gotta go fast, as they say.
Go faster.
And Celeste is just there, guns blazing. But again, we've seen Neri do a 180, and now we've seen Iceberg do a 180. Well, what is people and geometry? But then again, we go back in towards this game, all right? So we see how Celeste is, you know, really being buffed by a Celestial being right now. They're on the zone. As you can see it, they've won consecutive rounds. That's going to be a teleport, but Oreo knows better. She spots out Muffin, but Iceberg to secure her friend. And that presence alone is more than enough for them to get that signal. Go towards B. They know that we're at A. But is it enough, though? Because we can see from time and time again, Polly and the members are still here. And the wall gave it away. But she's gonna know. She's gonna know, my God. She's gonna know. And that swarm grenade, though, it's gonna be placed down.
Okay.
Quack, how do you think this is gonna go?
It's not going to go too good because of that toxic screen. Plus the gravity well, it stalls for a little second, allows for them to find one more frag, but regardless, Ayumi just pushes up front. Tarathiel finds another as well. This is the Death Squad raiding hell in towards the B site. The wall was even better. Make sure that nobody pushes out of elbow. Still though, Baby TZ raining a bit of more damage. She eats the shock dart from Iceberg. Where did that come from?
Iceberg really showering us with some ice with that slick plays here. First she did on 180 and now a shock dart kill. Her utility management is on point. Polly here was able to take a Neri down. Baby TZ as well with kills of her own. But this is where the it wasn't seen on the replay, but after that, that's where the shock dart magic happens. But despite that, they're just running away from Mad Army into securing a slightly dominant first half.
And it could go even better as well. I mean, if Alter Ego Celeste takes it 8-4, Mad Army started out good, but Alter Ego Celeste performed even better. 8-4, and then you swap over the defense. They stand a much better chance at closing this out, this entire best of 5 out 3-1. So Mad Army need to stand their ground right now, but unfortunately, they're getting pinned down. Positions are revealed, and Orifili is just going on a rampage. Oh. Okay.
But Muffin still gets a Neri with that showstopper, but it's quite intel once again. But with the help of this wall, it may be an idea, and beautiful deny of flank coming in from Ayumi. Tarathiel taking Muffin down as well. Baby TZ is gonna be tagged. They know that she's here. Let the presence be known. Baby TZ with this patience game, trying to wait. But look at that Celestial ult just for Baby TZ. But you know that this is the last round before the switch. But 8-4 scoreline still viable, but it's gonna be an uphill battle. Sometimes, you know, you gotta have to lose. But this time, Mad Army has to make the plays.
They have to. They're on the attacking side, and if there is one side that they could do it, maybe this is the one. The last time they played again, it was 13-8, on which Mad Army only won 3 rounds on the attacking side. Now that they have a new composition, they might be able to surprise Alter Ego Celeste, and that is what I'm hoping for. Still though, it all comes down to this round, the pistol of the second half. If they can get it, they stand a chance at the comeback. If they don't, this could be it. So coming down to this one, let's see how Alter Ego Celeste actually starts off with the defense. You've got the wall, which is already a big enough obstacle. And not to mention all those different pieces of utility. This is the double sentinel composition. You've got walls, you've got slow orbs, you've got nanoswarms as well as turrets. Their best bet, maybe if they take down the Killjoy player, Ayumi, they might be able to overrun B, but the rotations, excuse me, rotations were already so quick. How? I'm stunned.
Look at this utilities coming in for Ayumi. It forces to spend Muffin on her bullet. Is it gonna be enough though? Because look at this, Tarathiel is gonna deny her down, make it a 2K. Is it gonna be a third here? Iceberg also to help her fallen comrades with this playing around the tin can. And Iceberg with that beautiful right click, maybe TC for a ghost trade. Is it enough? 2 versus 2. They're on the low. Is it gonna be one more for Inari here? Only to herself, no more pain shells. Maybe the death of her, but no, Arfiel is just gonna secure it instead. 9-4 now. Alter Ego Celeste. You cannot be tested. This is just the best.
My God.
From the rest.
Whoa, you're gonna keep going? You're gonna keep going? I'm telling you guys, the rap album, it's coming soon.
I mean, you can't blame me. Look at this plays coming in from Celestè. They're trying to shut down the members of Mad Army as the game progresses.
It is so strong, so good. And this could be it. Mad Army right now trying to pull out whatever they've got. 2 sheriffs against the Spectres, the judges. You got Inari on a judge with her satchels. That's a recipe for disaster right now. That's the chemical X. You got Sugar and Spice, and then you got Inari. What else is going to happen? They're just waiting for the pushes to come in. Not even necessary. Yumi goes in for a quick peek, instantly taking down 2 players. The spike has been dropped. Baby TZ trying to answer back, but it doesn't even matter because Yumi is pushing up front. She's going to hunt Akko down. The classic burst is too good, even at that range.
Classic burst. Look at that thirst. Alter Ego Celeste is down for the Blood Hunt burst, and just like that, they were able to get 10 in towards their points. This is just looking all too good for the side of Alter Ego Celeste, not giving them a breather. But what is gonna be the play here for the side of Mad Army, Quack? Because we're seeing aggression that is in progression for the side of Alter Ego. I think I'm influencing you here at this point. I am so sorry.
It's too good. It's too good. Honestly, though, I think Mad Army need some kind of better construction to find some kind of a setup to break down the defenses of Alter Ego Celeste. They've managed to take one panel off, but that gives up a little bit of information. Meanwhile, you've got Jinny watching the flank towards Hookah. That is good. But how good is good enough? It's still not enough space. They haven't found any opening picks. They're trying to get that with the long-range duels because they have the Vandals, but they need to be wary because Alter Ego Celeste has been known to play and lurk in positions like what we're seeing in front of our screens right now.
Indeed, but here we're just waiting for the right moment to strike. Construction, more like destruction, and Neri goes with the judge into that shower. And here Baby TV and the company forces to go in towards A side, but sees 3 in towards Lamps, and then Neri and Oreophilia with those beautiful frags in towards this game. Is this enough? Akko with a 1, but it's gonna be none. And Neri with the 3K. It's down to a close run.
None, a close run. This is starting to look to be all done and dusted because 11-4. They've broken and shattered Mad Army's economy. This was their bonus round. The fact that they've lost it means that Alter Ego Celeste can just that easily shove and push them in towards match point, where they stand at the cusp of becoming crowned the queens, the champions of VCT Game Changer Southeast Asia. Is it going to happen right here in this round? It just could be it.
Revealing area.
This could be it unless it's jinxed, but right now we are seeing members of Mad Army crawling to belong. A Neri to that shutdown really beautifully happening, but you know what, they still get their ultimate. And here Yumi with the 1, make it a 2, is it a 3? Watch out the flanks, very cautious for this woman, she's popping it off. Baby TZ and company, what more can you do? That's gonna be a beautiful 2! No, actually 3 for a Yumi, and a 12-4 scoreline match point for Alter Ego. How do you think this is gonna run in for Mad Army, Quack? They need to, as you mentioned, they need that construction, but it's now being destroyed by Alter Ego Celeste. What do you think needs to be done? They were able to save into the previous round. They have weaponry, but is it enough?
I think Alter Ego Celeste, they came in like a wrecking ball and they just destroyed whatever Mad Army has got. Mad Army right now, they've got the full buys. They can stand their ground. They can get maybe 1 round or 2, but then it's going to be just such a tall mountain to climb. But here they go. Alter Ego Celeste getting a little bit greedy right now. They're trying to hunt them down. The Showstopper created a little bit of space, but at the same time allows for Mad Army to just hold a little bit of a default. Baby TZ good for the trade. And Neri looking for a little bit more, but she's down to 42 HP. She gets peppered up. That's it. 3v4. And Mad Army can actually push them down.
Pushing them down, they're going in towards showers, but the drone is being prevented by the pool here.
Oh, wait,
you
what?
cannot defy gravity. Let's see if Tertiel can make history. Muffin says no. She's not going to repeat the same mistakes, but the mobility from those satchels. Polly is going to take Oreophilia down. Can this be a deny of the match point? Could be, unless Ayumi finds a way to seize this day. Is this Carpedium or is Muffin going to be the victor in this corner? Is it going to be, though? But look at this, the sudden change, but the recon dart is gonna make the face. Yumi is quite pinned down with this ultimate. Full utilities just went down.
yeah.
Muffin is gonna go for the cleanup, 12-5, and the dream.
Oh, the dream. Let's keep it alive. You thought that you couldn't defy gravity, but Muffin's flying high and she's going to try to defy gravity. Right now, 12-5, and they're not going to stop. This is where they stand. This is where they fight, and this is where Alter Ego Celeste maybe dies, but who knows. Right now, they're bringing out the big guns, the big spears, 2 operators. And you know how devastating that can be, locking down the angles. Unless they have some kind of a utility play to flash them out or mobility to push them off of the positions, I just don't know how Mad Army can actually break this defense right now. Oh, okay, that's good.
As you say it has been jinxed. Ayumi, though, retreats in towards B-Long, but maybe TZ was able to take down Aneri, who's been the menace of this Celeste. And here, this is nice because the aggression, they're starting to be proactive in towards the map. Anko and Polly in towards Showers. That's quite telegraphed, especially with the drone. And Iceberg just to try and deny that attack. Not going to detect anyone, but Richmond Ball. Let's see. That's going to be the division of this A side. Is it going to be on progression? We do see Recon Bolt in the process. That's going to be a pull for, and the gravity defies it. Not really concussing Polly, but they are in towards Showers here. So they need to have that peak. Muffin takes the lead, and that is just beautifully done using the utilities right now for this post-plant security. But is it enough, though? What do you think, Quack?
I think it's good. The fact that these are 2 operators that we're talking about, that's a total of like 9,000 plus credits. Math wasn't so good, so I didn't get the exact numbers. But yeah, it's, you know what I'm talking about. This is big value. They can't afford to just throw that away in an unfavorable retake. So looking for the exit frags at the very least right now. And Mad Army, you know, they could afford to maybe go a little bit and hunt them down, but the main thing is they win this round. Next round, it was a little bit expensive for Alter Ego Celeste. They won't be able to have the best weapons coming into this one. The thing they got to count on is the operators. Let's see how useful that can actually be.
Indeed. At this point, they have to really utilize everything as much as possible. 12-6 onto our scoreline, and Mad Army is slowly, climbing up these obstacles or struggles that they've been on, because every round counts at this point. Oreophilia on the peak, but is gonna miss Ginny. However, will be taking down Ayumi in Honka, if I'm not mistaken. So a little bit of regress for the side of Celeste, and this could be the advantage point for Mad Army. And if you see Muffin, if detected by Boombot, she's gonna follow through this.
Nothing detected yet. So it does seem like Muffin won't be able to do too much except for anchor down in that position. If someone pushes up front, she gets to basically set up for a flank or 2. Meanwhile, the main push is coming outside of B. They already got the one playing around Hull, which is incredible stuff. If they can burst down the site right now and take Iceberg away, they should be able to claim B for their own. Still, though, some of the Seekers are coming out, and now they're just looking to rush them down. Muffin, unfortunately, got spotted out. And that makes it a little bit tougher.
It's a little bit tougher, but Iceberg still on the hover. Turtle for the res, maybe TZ to beat Iceberg in the process. And that's going to be a spike down. Let's see if the post plant makes it to the rest of the games, because again, this is important, but Turtle just shows it over towards that kill. They could go for double peaks, but is it enough? Because look at this repeat here with the 3. Taratiel on the low, but still calling for the trade for Euphilia for the off kill. Ladies and gentlemen, is this safe to say? It's now in the books. Quack, we have ourselves the victor. Queens reigning, defending once again, as VCT Southeast Asia Series is to be crowning Alter Ego Celeste as their queen.
Just as it seemed that Ginny sent out her Seekers, sent out her Hawks to rush down the site, Tarethiel right there rings the bell. and says that they are the champions of FSL Elite, the VCT game changers of Southeast Asia. They have won themselves that $10,000 US dollar prize, along with some nano leaves as well from our sponsors. These girls have run the whole gauntlet. They made their way throughout the upper brackets, basically dominating 2-0 all throughout, only dropping one map in this best of 5 earlier on. But here we go on Bind. This is one of their best maps. It was one of their trump cards, and unfortunately it just seemed like too much for Mad Army to handle. But you know what else isn't too much? It's going to be the Secret Lab giveaways. We do have something like that going on, so we're not going for a break just yet. Maybe, I don't know, Zaya might have some words that she'd like to share. She loves to spit those rhymes and bars out. But
What do you mean?
she loves
What do
to,
you mean?
look,
I'm
I've made her
just being
bashful.
Clean, you know? What do you mean? I'm just being clean, but the unbeatable
Oh, yeah.
queens are celestial beings. And ladies and gentlemen, you have yourselves our champions for this VCT Southeast Asia series, but a lot more when we come back.
Winners
But
interview,
this
yeah.
has been an honor to have casted with you, Quack. This is your
Likewise.
we'll be taking on a quick break, so don't go away.
Welcome back to the final Analyst Deck segment of the VCT Game Changers Southeast Asian FSL Elite, where we have just crowned our rightful champions, Alter Ego Celestè, in a convincing 3-1 victory over Mad Army. Of course, huge congratulations to the squad of AC, the team that's been playing since the start of the FSL Valorant circuit, before we had Riot support, before they had sponsors, but just showing up today, showing exactly why they are the top team in the FSL circuit. I'm back with Donut and Jace for the final closing segment for today to walk us through that game. Guys, what do we think about that one?
Donut.
Well, it was definitely a win well deserved for them. They did drop a map, but it still is a 3-1 score for them. Even though it was really the picks first for Mad Army in this map of Icebox, map number 1, we're seeing the stats here. They still got that win, and Yumi really popping off as that killjoy. It snowballed from there. Everybody else got to have their own limelight, even for the map of Split.
Yeah, I think it was on Icebox where Zeora said there's a woman's intuition and how it correlated to their game sense. You know what? It really did show up on this map and the next map and the 4th map. On the 3rd map, every now and then there would be the drop made by Mad Army, but my goodness, just it's incredible how consistent they can be across all these maps, across all these games, across all these tournaments. They can keep putting up those numbers and keep just doing this. It's look at that. Look at Neri. Just what is that? What is that? You don't see those stats anywhere else. This is they only see this kind of thing in women's Valorant, I reckon. And you'd love to see it.
Yeah, absolutely insane. We were wondering about that race pick as well, because it's not something that they usually go for as well. I had a very interesting agent select composition for that one. But yeah, this 13-9 over on Split. We've also got the 3rd map on Ascent, 13-11, which was where Mad Army just kind of told us, you know, we're down, but we're not out yet. And they really came back strong in this one, really put up a very good fight, very good show. Muffin versus Inario. Muffin just showing up clutch as well to 7-9 with the ACS. Polly also has just been such a star this entire tournament, picking up a 4K, a bunch of triples, and just being that clutch player for her team as well.
You kind of called it. Like, as soon as you saw the agent picks, you saw KO come out and you were like, oh, I don't know about this game. And you were absolutely right. But look at the margin. 2 rounds separate that 3-0 win. And then we're headed into Bind, where, again, that women's intuition, it was incredible. They knew every angle they needed to check. They sprayed through every smoke they needed to and found targets. The amount of damage that was coming through, where they couldn't even see their enemies, checking corners where you just regularly just wouldn't check. They were so in charge of that game, and it's reminded us of who they were and how strong they were. Alter Ego just cementing themselves as the absolute champions for this year, and it's unquestionable and undoubtable that they've earned this position.
And what we said about the picks really being about the team play, we saw that in Bind. All of the utilities were not just used for themselves, but used for their teammates. And their performance in Bind was the perfect end to the story of victory for Alter Ego Celeste.
Yeah, you saw more of those players playing anti-flash. But how do you? I don't think they have enough time to coordinate all these positions. They went for a double peek down long with one player playing anti-flash, and then the double peek to find the kill as well. And it's like, you don't have time to discuss that. They just knew to do it while the defuse was happening as well. Like, there's so many little things that you cannot get unless you have that close sisterhood like that. And they really, really showed just how cohesive they were, just how well they could work as a team. It was an absolute Alter Ego Celeste show as soon as they hit that fourth map. And it was, for this entire year.
Yeah, what a show we've been treated to from this team. And waiting in the wings for our grand finals winner interview, we are very honored and happy to have with us today Tarathiel again from Alter Ego Celeste for a little winner interview chat. Tarathiel, hello. Oh my god, your bunnies! Guys, I'm here with Alter Ego Celeste Tarathiel for today's grand finals winner interview brought to you by Nanoleaf. Tarathiel, congrats on winning the grand finals. How do you feel right now?
I'm very happy and very satisfied because I thought we were going to have a tough time in the finals, and then we managed to finish up early. So even though we lost that third map.
So I wanted to chat with you because your team has won pretty much almost every tournament that you've been in this year, for sure. VCT, FSL that you guys have participated in. How does it feel to have won practically everything this year that you've taken part in?
Actually, it's kind of there's so much pressure when we play because they expect us to win, and they have nothing to lose. If it's we have to, stay being the champions, and it's quite the pressure for us. That's why we keep on practicing more, even though we won, but then we still keep on practicing also, so that's not, so that we don't get left behind.
Yeah, spoken like a true champion. I mean, Tarathiel, when we had the chance to interview you last week, and I was asking you which team in FSL you consider your rivals, and this was before half the bracket was played out. We didn't know it was going to be Mad Army in the finals. And now that we've played Mad Army and you guys beat them 3-1 today, how do you feel that they did in today's grand final?
They're very good. They're very sharp. Even on map 3, I was so out of it that whenever I meet someone, I felt like, oh no, I'm gonna lose this fight. So every time I see someone, I'll give up shooting. It's up to that point that for me they're that sharp.
That's really interesting for me because from what most of the analysts, most of the viewers know, looking at the way AE Celeste plays, that we think of your team as a very aggressive team. Even on defense, sometimes you girls push out. Sometimes if you're feeling it, especially we saw that map number 4 the last couple of rounds too. You girls were just going nuts. So when we look at the playstyle, it really doesn't look as if you girls have any types of nerves at all. But could you just talk to us more about that? Just feeling nervous, how this affects you during the game?
I think when you feel nervous, that's when you lose the game. So I told them you don't have to feel nervous because we're going to win this no matter what. We've practiced and because of our hard work for these past 2 weeks, I can guarantee that to you guys, because of how hard we practice.
Throughout this entire year of the FSL circuit, all the way from Open 1 to Open 6 through to FSL Elite, what was the point that you would say the most where your team felt the most nervous during the competition? Today?
I think it's today because the stakes are very high. $5,000.
Yes, that's true. Split amongst the team. It's a big amount of money, 10K to 5K USD for the prize pool. Another thing also was that when we were hearing the cast earlier, I know you girls were playing, but like we were hearing the cast, one of the casters, Quack, was watching your team play, and he said at one point, "Is it luck or is it skill?" And I mean, watching you girls play, it's 100% skill. So I wanted to ask, just in general, like usually, how do you girls train to get to such a high level of Valorant?
I think the more we play ranked, the more experience we have. Like the Sky in Vine, they're usually they will pop flash in the long and hook kites. It's just what happens usually if you use that agent. So like we expected it to happen. That's why we we put some people on anti flashes, and it works out. So I think it's just basically just you play more and experience rank, so like you know what people are gonna do with each agents, because more or less it's going to be the same.
Also, I wanted to ask you very quickly about that, about your agent composition. I think it was that map over on Split where A Celeste pulled out that very interesting strategy. You had the double sentinel, you're playing Sage as well as KJ, and 0 initiators on your squad. It's not something that we usually see, especially from you. Can you just tell us briefly about that decision?
I think Split is a very defensive side, right? So I thought, why not we just pump up the defense a little bit more, and and I'll handle the attacking side, I think. But yeah, it works out. And we have
It worked out.
So like we just need to hold it.
Yeah, I mean, it's nice always having that Inari in your back pocket to whip out as that plan B. Is there anything that you want to say to your teammates after today's win?
Oh, of course, I'm very proud of them. Thank you for believing in me as the IGL, and thank you for working hard with me. I think we all deserve this champion, and I really love them.
Lastly, any message that you would like to give to all of those girls out there who have been following your journey throughout this year, from last year even, or maybe even just tuned in today? They've watched your team just absolutely wreck face the whole year and think, wow, if they can do that, so can I. Do you have a message for them?
Just try it out. You know, if you don't try, your chance is always 0%.
Well, it's been a pleasure talking to you, Tarathiel. As always, thank you so much for the interview. And once again, huge congrats to A Celeste for winning today's grand finals of VCT FSL.
You.
Bye!
Bye.
Welcome back, Jaeger, as well as Donut, to the desk. And I just love talking to Tarathiel. I mean, by this point, you know, A Celeste, they win all the time. We've had multiple winners interviews with them because they just don't lose. And it's just always a pleasure to talk to her. And what a sweet message that she had for her teammates as well as to all the young girls out there.
Well, I loved what she said about really having faith and trust in her teammates, because that's really what wins you the games. And a lot of the stats that we saw earlier were not necessarily the objective wins of really just planting the spike, but these are frag wins. And for you to be able to get so high in terms of that win rate in frag wins just really means that there's a lot of trust, them playing together, peeking out together, and assessing as well how your opponents would really try and get win against you in that map. I loved what she said about one person playing anti-flash. It just really goes to show that there's reliance and as well as faith.
Yeah, and I mean, A Celeste, they might have won today's grand finals, but it's been a long journey to get to this point. Of course, we'd like to take this moment to highlight all of the other fantastic teams that we've had the pleasure to watch throughout this tournament. We're going to take a look at the brackets from FSL Elite from the last 2 weeks of play. Whew. And there on your screens is, if you guys, you know, just tuned in for the grand finals and aren't all too sure about what happened, well, we've had 2 weeks of play. We had a double elimination with the top 8 teams at the end of this year's 6 FSL Opens, as well as overtime and wildcard. So the top 8 teams qualified in through last Saturday's FSL Elite week number 1, day 1. And you can see, just Some pretty close scores across the board, especially towards the end of the brackets. But I mean, a Celestè came up on top. We'd also like to have a big shout out to our second place team, Mad Army. We'll be walking away with $5K US dollars as well as Nanoleaf panels. And third place team, we saw them earlier this afternoon as well. Renatus White from Singapore and Malaysia went down 2-0, but will also walk away with that sweet 3K US dollar prize. And Enigma Galaxy, come on, they had such a good showing last night as well. It's just been a really nice 2 weeks of games.
Yeah, I mean, all the other teams as well, you know, Big Scythe, you got BLT, all of them had such an amazing showing. And like, we only saw like 113-0. Everyone that got up to this point really did prove themselves and really did a really good job. And I think that we had probably the best female representatives in the region. I can actually, and I don't say I think that, I know for a fact that we had the best women. And next year, hopefully we're going to have, you know, even more fresh blood showing up and maybe being inspired by these women and how well they've played and seeing how far they can go as well, because they are consistently setting the bar here.
Yeah, and I'd love to see more women come into play here in VCT Game Changers. See, I loved what Tarathiel said, that any piece of advice to women out there, she mentioned that you'll never know until you try. So at least you get your chances higher up there if you do try and join us, of course.
Well, guys, it's been a wild roller coaster ride all year long. Thanks for getting on and joining us in the Valorant Champions Tour Southeast Asian Series FSL Elite. Thanks also to our hugely talented panelists, Jaeger as well as Donut, all our other casters, Zaya, Quack, Illustrato, and Key, for casting the absolute bejeebus out of this tournament. It was an honor working with all of you. Of course, this would not have been possible without the support of our sponsors, Intel, Secret Lab, Nanoleaf, as well as official media partner Yahoo. If y'all are interested in leveling up your gaming setup, then we would 10/10 recommend picking up some smart lighting panels from Nanoleaf and also checking out Secret Lab's newest Titan Evo 2020 line. Also, huge thanks to Riot for giving us their support. Their prize pool, visibility on Twitch, socials as well has been hugely helpful for us, definitely helping us grow the competitive women's gaming scene in the region and also giving these queens the dues that they deserve. Guys, if you want to see more on how women in esports are changing the game, and we definitely are, then give us a follow on our social media to keep updated for our next tournament news, because it might be October right now, but we are not yet done for this year. For now, that's it for us. Thanks for watching. Good night.